And audio, and we're good. It's all bandwidth their hands are eating. Probably. Alright, the life and suffering of Sir Brante. Either that or something's getting downloaded on the network. That's always a possibility as well. Because network congestion would cause lag but wouldn't show up in the modem. So that is possible. The dog is mostly Maltese and blind. Mostly Maltese. There's something else in there, but I haven't been able to figure out what it is yet. Because he's about 3 pounds too big to be a purebred Maltese. He was sold as a purebred Maltese, but he's too big. So there's something else in there. He mostly looks Maltese, though, so. Alright. Life and suffering of Sir Brante in the times of the fall of the blessed Arcanian Empire. We've reached adulthood, chat. Young adulthood. I think we're 17? Maybe it's possible he could just be oversized. But I don't know. Alpha Maltese, quite possibly. He's not overweight. He's got the appropriate gait in his waist. So he's at proper weight, but it's possible he could just be a slightly larger for the breed. Yeah, I'm sure it happens. But, anyway. Not for a dog like that, though. Yeah. 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 Alright, here we go. Continuing. Sir Butterball Brante continues. Most likely a mix. He was sold as a purebred, but they said, "Oh, we'll get the papers to you later. We'll get the papers all worked up and give later." And they never got the papers to us, so my guess is it wasn't actually purebred. Oh, okay, we're 16 years old, actually. We gotta redo the last scene of adolescence here, quick. End of adolescence, yes, okay. You clashed with the greater world around you and survived. Well, no, we died. Once. What was our death in this one? No, we actually didn't die during adolescence. We died twice during childhood. No. The first one was at the start of adolescence. We died at 6, caned to death by Grandpa. And we died at, I want to say, 11 or 12. We got trampled by horses saving a girl. So, we've had 2 deaths so far. Those are our 2. And so 1 in each stage so far. Let's see if we can get through young adulthood alive. I believe in us, I think. You saw death, yeah. Lesser death followed by rebirth, yep. We live on, yes we do. Alright, continuing. You were trampled, yep. It's alright, we got vengeance on the house that trampled us. Sort of. We helped a witch get away from them. Alright, let's see. We felt the tingle of emotion for the first time. Never seen this game. It's an interesting one. I've actually been quite enjoying it. Alright, let's see. So we got I think we actually got almost every event during that section of our life here. How much? Okay. Our final stats going into adulthood. I don't know how much these will change from here on out. Adolescence, all your qualities from childhood will now convert into adult qualities. Alright, so we ended with 6 nobility. Not bad. 4 ingenuity. Not bad. And 5 spirituality, which is surprising based on our decisions. But here we are. Is it worth playing on your own, or will watching you suffice? It's, as far as I understand, it's pretty branching, but I don't know how superficial those branches tend to be. So, it's one of those games that's designed for you to replay it numerous times to try and get different endings and different hidden events and shit like that. So, it's probably one where you could get your fill of it watching, or you could watch for a bit and decide, hey, I want to try it out. So, you are here, but you must poop. You will be right back. That's our Mike. Alright. Good luck, Mike. Hopefully you've been eating fiber. Okay, your inner strength and the number of lesser deaths are we have 25 willpower banked up, so we have plenty to use right now. And it caps at 30, so. And we've died twice. Continue, into adulthood we go. We're 16 now. Oh, continue, right. This game is worth playing at least 3 times for sure.
Leaving my hometown behind, I set out for the capital of the Empire. There, I would discover my role in society.
Game is worth playing at least 3 times for sure. Fair enough. Alright, here we go. I don't know how long this chapter is, and we got 2 chapters after it, so. Alright, let's take a look at some information quick before we kick up. Alright, we'll read this first. Leaving home. The driver flicks the reins. The carriage slowly sways as it starts moving away from your home. You stick your head out the window and wave goodbye to your family. Ethan is running after the carriage with Thomas's younger brother in tow, tears glistening in their eyes. It hurts to leave your home behind. Ahead lies Eterna, the Imperial capital. You have often read about it and heard stories from Father and Stefan. It is a city that surpasses Enizot enormously in terms of size, age, wealth, and beauty. But what is it really like? What kind of life awaits you there? What will you learn there? And where will your actions take you? You pass the old walls of Enizot. Somewhere within them is the old fortress you and Thomas built together out of old wooden planks, now left to the care of your younger brothers. You two are adults now. Perhaps your fortress will crumble, now abandoned. Or perhaps your brothers will continue what you started. Who knows? You look down at your hands, knuckles covered in scars from street antics, fingers stained with ink. Mother gave you a cross to wear away from home, and now you can feel its warmth against your chest. Your family counts on you, even though they all wish a different future for you. But they are behind you now, in Enizot. From this point on, only you will decide which road you will take. This is the journey you prepared for throughout your entire childhood. Ahead of you lie many years in the capital, years that will determine your fate and your place in society. These are your personal qualities in adulthood, which you will use for the rest of your life. They are some of the qualities that you have gained in childhood and adolescence. For most skill checks, you will need a value between 10 and 16. Values 17 through 19 are required for rare and especially difficult choices. The maximum value, 20, only gives you a chance for one extraordinary deed. Okay. Our perception and nobility have merged into diplomacy. We are halfway through. Okay. That's pretty middling, not exceptional, not terribly exciting, but alright. What's next? Our perception and ingenuity, our manipulation is 8. We are naive. Feels about right. Okay. Perception and spirituality gives us theology 9, not terrible. Okay. Workable. We can make that work. Determination and nobility give us 9 valor. Again, not exactly great, but it'll have to do. Our determination ended up being a little weaker than I would have liked at the end. We lost a couple points. 2, I think. Ingenuity and determination, scheming 7. I think that's our worst score yet. Ouch. And determination and spirituality is 8. We are tongue-tied. We are an awful human being. Okay. Alright. Well, we might be good at fighting, at least, I guess. Seems to be the direction we're moving in. These stats, they are great. I for one, approve of them. You left your hometown to study in the Imperial capital. What life awaits you. Alright, we don't need to read that. So we got a couple of things that can happen here. True death can happen. Yeah, that makes sense. We get to choose our path. The path of the lotless, which is interesting. Path of the priest, or path of the nobleman. Or true death, or we can just fuck everything up and just completely die. So apparently, the fact that true death is an option here means there are a lot of deaths hiding. There's a lot of potential death here. Either that or there's 2 potential deaths here, and it's counting our prior. So there's somewhere between 2 and 4 potential chances for you to die. Excellent. I like it. We're gonna die. Personal life. Events in the personal life of the hero that can happen in this chapter. Okay. Let's see. Personal qualities. Fantastic. At least we're good at diplomacy, and if our diplomacy doesn't work out, we just go sword a bitch to death. Because I think we're good at the swording stuff. We're very valorous. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Arrival in the capital. So Breeze would be worth with these stats, possibly. It's tough to say for sure. Yeah, we got decent theology, decent valor, decent diplomacy, so going towards clergyhood might be an option. I think just general noble of the mantle might also be a reasonably viable course as well. So I think nobility or... honestly, I think we're open to either nobility or priesthood. I think chat was aiming for nobility, so we'll see. It takes a whole month to reach Eterna. You and Thomas spend the days wagging your chins and staring at the scenery as your carriage makes its way along the road and towards the next province. Soon it crosses from the familiar barren, arid lands of Magra to the stately mountains of Illyria. During one of your many stays at a roadside inn, the two of you even manage to share a whole bottle of strong wine and keep it a secret from the servant who drives the carriage. Alright, before we go on from here, let's take a look at some things. Okay, where is it? It's not it. Map of the Empire. Let's go ahead, or province. What's the province? Okay, that's that stuff. We don't need to worry about that right now. Alright, here's the map. This is where we were, down here in Anazat. The city of your birth, in Magra. We are now heading up to Eterna, way up here. In, Arknea territory. The home base of the Arkneans. Have we heard mention of any of these other cities so far? Nope. No need to read. No, alright. We're not going to read about them until we have reason to. So, let's read about Eterna real quick. The capital of the blessed Arknean Empire, this ancient and beautiful city was built upon the shores of 3 rivers. By the Emperor's own order, Eterna houses the Imperial College and the Military Academy, which provide opportunities for commoners to become nobles of the mantle through service and valor, as well as a divine seminary. Eterna is the place where Arknean tradition, architecture, and fashion have always reigned supreme. But the influx of human nobles and wealthy merchants is slowly changing the way of life in the capital. And that is located in Arknea, the birthplace of the Empire and every Arknean dynasty, owned by the Emperor himself. The province with the most bountiful soil, Arknea abounds in ancient castles, green fields, and towering forests. Sprawling cities and factories are virtually non-existent here. No Arknean dynasty would ever let such massive human-built structures disfigure the domain of their ancestors. The only place in the province teeming with life and the spirit of the new age is Eterna, the capital of the Empire. Alright. There's a little information going in. This is still our old province, which is... it's doing great. It's doing great. Whoops. And back to the story. So, okay. Adult life feels positively intoxicating. Soon, I tell you, soon we'll be there, and I'll earn my sword as soon as I get accepted into the military academy. You'll see. And then nobody's gonna walk over me like I'm some commoner. You keep rehearsing everything they taught you in school. Soon you are almost at the end of your long journey. You have left behind the arid rocks of Magra, mountains of Illyria, and the flooded meadows of Arknea. Eterna, the capital, is right ahead. Situated at the junction between the Reglada and Talarina rivers, the city is vast. 3 majestic stone bridges keep its 3 shores interconnected. Smooth stone paves the main city streets. Gilded moldings decorate the buildings. Towering pillars reach high into the sky. Your carriage takes you past a spacious park with marble fountains and intricately trimmed bushes. On the streets you see ornately decorated carriages bearing Arknean coats of arms, and abundant merchants' tents, filling the streets with beckoning cries and unusual sights. A spire of ancient temples dot the city skyline. The carriage comes to a halt on a large city square with a towering marble fountain. The coachman says you have arrived. Thomas is to apply to the military academy. The academy barracks are 2 streets away. Your lodging house is in the alleyway nearby. A room has already been reserved for you. That's a nice alley. As far as alleys go, it's nice. You know, I don't see a lot of people getting shanked or anything, so, you know, nobody's vomiting out of a window. That's a pretty good alley, I'll be honest. You get out onto the street and say brief goodbyes to each other. You promise to meet again after the entrance exams. Then your friend disappears into the crowded streets of the capital. You are left to your own devices in this vast city. A group of nobles walk past. They are dressed in well-fitting clothing, decorated with gems and golden thread. You are not even noticed. Street urchins chase a dog down the alleyway. Soldiers of the Imperial Legion are marching to fiefs and drums towards the barracks. Humble pilgrims are gathering to the great temple of the twins. There are the sounds of music and fountains, and the smells of baked bread and garbage trains. Oh, that's good seasoning for the sinuses. There, bread and trash. They really mingle well, those scents. You quickly check in at the lodging house, then go back outside. The sun is setting. The streetlights come to life. Merry music fills the tavern. Couples and nobles, coaches with tinted windows fill the streets. Shadows and hushed voices and laughter fill the parks. You are all alone with this city. So vast and unfamiliar, you take a look around, determined to fill your first night in the capital with memories. You see young nobles gathered by the fountain, talking and making jokes excitedly. One of them keeps glancing at the clock tower. They are about your age. Their clothes are hand-tailored, and 2 of them bear noble swords. They seem to be waiting for something. It might be a good idea to make their acquaintance. It would be most helpful to develop a familiarity with the influential nobles of the capital. A fountain of marbles. How pretty is that after Marble Street? It's very loud. A lot of clanking. Loud music from a large establishment on the corner distracts you for a moment. The servants have just opened the shutters to air out the hall. It seems there will be a gathering inside. People from various estates greet each other as they take their seats. A servant by the door of the establishment hails you. Sir Gert Arkwright will be making a speech about the rights of the common estate. If you wish to listen, you'd better get inside quickly. Then you look at the great temple of the twins at the far end of the street. The pillar shines in the evening dusk above it. The temple gates are open, and worshippers are flocking inside. There are too many people for an ordinary service. This must be something important. What do they preach here in the capital? What do they say of the new faith? The teachings of Patriarch Photis? You snap out of your reverie when you hear loud laughter. A group of young men dressed in the colors of the Imperial College have made the acquaintance of several lovely girls. They are making their way down the road, united by merriment. One of the girls smiles at you. It is an invitation to join them. They turn the corner and walk away, but you can still hear their voices ringing and echoing through the street. A night of revelry and jolly, loud fun doesn't sound half bad. This is your first night in Eterna. No matter what you choose, you will remember it for a long time to come. Okay, we have reached our first choice of the chapter. Meet the noble youths, listen to Arkwright's speech, visit the great temple of the twins, or run after the students. 1, 2, 3, or 4. We have a 3 so far. We have 2 3s. Visiting the great temple of the twins. Something weird's happening. We have a 4. So far the 3s are taking it. We have 2 4s. It's all tied up. We need a tiebreaker. If not, I have the dice. It is ready to roll. Alright, we got an even, which is heads. That's the first option. Visit the great temple. You felt like 2, but you guessed 3 is fine. Alright, 3 it is. 3 is 1. Okay, yeah. Well, 3-1 anyway off of the coin flip, so. You follow the other worshippers to the temple and attend the nightly service. You follow the worshippers and barely make it into the overcrowded Great Temple of the Twins. Even this enormous hall of stone is not enough to fit so many people. The commoners' half is absolutely packed. There are no free seats left at all. The crowd is buzzing in anticipation. You hear reverent whispers. The preacher for today's evening service is Father Ulrich, one of the leaders of the punitive branch of the church. The punitive branch! Delightful! This should be good. This is good. A man dressed in a long black cassock and wearing a silver cross appears on the raised platform by the altar. He bears a rolled scroll on his side, held tight by a silver seal. You try your best to see his face, chiseled features, sunken cheeks, bald head. Father Ulrich looks at the crowd with his steely eyes, and the hall falls silent. Ye who live in eternal, I see before me the faces of true believers. We are not united before the twins, yet in our faith in them we are united. The twins are the guiding light in the darkness of our life. The twins are the only incontrovertible truth in this world. So says Sisatius in his first book. The twins are law, and will, and love. But the will is above all. From this will came law, and love, too, was born from the will. The twins had the will to bring us those three gifts, and so the great Arcnean Empire came to be. The twins had the will to lead us, and so we are no longer lost in the darkness, now guided by true faith. The twins brought their teachings to us when the Empire was founded, and so they created the very foundations of our lives, the knowledge of the lots, and of the hereafter, and of the paths we must follow in life. This is their legacy, and their gift to us. So heed these words. You who are righteous and live by your lot, you shall be brought to the peak of the shining pillar for an eternity of bliss. But you who live in defiance of your lot, you shall endure eternal suffering at the foot of the pillar. Every soul will face the stern gaze of the twins upon their true death, and answer for every misdeed. There is no escape from this judgment. So heed my will, for it is the will of the twins. Follow your lot in life, and follow the words of Sisatius, and then you shall reach the peak of the pillar, awaited by our gods. You have heard these words many times in the temple, in your theology lessons, from Mother, and in the pages of books. But Father Ulrich's speech reaches far, far deeper. It seeps into the very hidden depths of your soul, breaking, binding you to the will of these words. There is no resisting this will. A picture of the twins in their earthly form. I could have never expected this. The Inquisition! Father Ulrich is right. There is no task more crucial than living by your lot, so you may face the judgment of the twins in the hereafter. All doubt you had before your visit to the temple is gone. You feel joy at each word spoken by Father Ulrich. The truth was revealed to you all along, yet you allowed it inside you only now. You know the twins are always watching over you, always guiding, always protecting, always judging. The sermon ends in the small hours of the night. The sky is tinted by the pink shade of the coming sunrise, and the shining pillar stands tall against the heavens. You return to your lodging, prepare all your things for the coming day, and drift off to sleep, free of any fear or doubt. Our theology is up, our eloquence is up, our willpower, that costs 5. Okay. I'm guessing all of them probably cost willpower. So, we are more eloquent, still tongue-tied though. Damn. That did bump us up to follower in theology, though. Here we go. Continuing on. Arrival to the capital. We are now, it's 1 year, I think it jumps by year, so this should be a year later now, I think. Alright. You have spent the last 3 days studying books, but today you decided to take a walk through the streets of Eterna. They are full of life as usual. You proceed to the square next to the lodging house. A procession of priests walks through the square. You notice that one of them holds a banner of the new faith, an open book. This is the same banner that was behind Patriarch Photis on the day of his assassination. A crowd immediately gathers around them. Many people are looking at an icon painted on a small pedestal, depicting a gray-haired man with glowing green eyes. You recognize that face, the face of the late Patriarch Photis. A man with a thick beard appears by the icon painting. His broad shoulders bear a white and gold cloak, with a coat of arms of the capital province embroidered on it. He is Luke, Patriarch of Archnia. He casts his stern gaze over the crowd. I speak to all who live within the sight of the Shining Pillar. Exactly 1 year ago we lost Photis, Patriarch of the Magra Province, mentor of the New Faith. Patriarch Photis was the first to see the books of Asatius for nothing but the words of a man, not the words of the twins themselves. He was the first to tell people to seek the path to the gods in their own hearts instead of blindly following the lots. To seek answers in the lives of the twins in their own hearts rather than the words of priests. Through Patriarch Photis, we were able to see the truth. Through his death, we saw that his words were not heresy. They are the truth that used to be obscured by Asatius' lies. And now I bring good news. Patriarch Junius Diamond has seen to it that our teacher will be canonized as a saint. Yes, Junius Diamond, an Archnian from a great dynasty, and the Patriarch of Astinia has joined the New Faith himself. Junius Diamond, that name seems familiar, but I'm trying to think of where it's from. We've definitely heard it before, but I don't think it was a major character we interacted with in any meaningful way. And through this, we hope that the entire Empire will soon see that our doctrine is the truth. We are free from the shackles of the lots. We are equal before the twins. With each day, more and more people hearken to the truth, and one day the entire Empire will hear our call. So let us pray, my brothers. The believers around you bow their heads in prayer and thank to the twins, not for the lot they were given, as they usually would, but for the chance to choose their own path. The Patriarch's sermon is inspiring. It compels your hands to meet in a sign of prayer. It compels your lips to repeat the words of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermon forms a cadence, and your heart beats in time with it now. You smell a reformation of faith here, quite possibly, and I think so far our decisions to try and create some degree of consistency, so far our choices in regards to theology have been inching us towards the new faith. Not so much that we can't do an about-face if we have a good reason for it, but as of right now, our character seems to be moving towards a new faith. Or no faith, one of the two. And not really no faith, more like true faith. It's hard to not have faith considering in this particular world the gods are A, real, and B, frequently interacted with. So, there's no doubting there. But I guess it's the choice of the old religion as it is, the new religion, the new reformed religion, and the third option is direct spirituality to the twins minus the aspect of religion. Those are the three they've kind of been setting up so far as options for the theology line. So we're kind of moving either in the direction of the new faith or towards raw spirituality. Catch me up, you missed the beginning of the second half. So far we had a choice for our first night in town, and we chose theology as our path. Basically, you're choosing your path when you make that decision on the first night as to what events and whatnot are going to pop up. So we went theology. The other options were most likely nobility. I'm not sure what the students one would have been. And I'm actually not sure what the other two would have been. One was clearly nobility and one was clearly theology, though. Commons? Yeah. One was commons. That would probably have been the students. No, that would have been the meeting. Meeting would have been commons. I don't know what the students would have been. I'm not sure. Actually, the students probably would have been what our father wanted us to do. That probably would have led us to being, well, that would have been Lord of the Mantle. So, I guess there's two paths to lordhood here. Interesting. Or maybe I'm completely off, who knows? Okay. Anyway, that's it. Now we're going down the theology path. A lot lesser students, I guess, possibly. I don't think so. I don't think would students have been lotless. It's possible, but I feel students would have been us studying, would have been us passing our exams, would have been us becoming a judge, would have been us, you know, basically getting our right of mantle, if you will. To give you a character some rest if you need. Oh, okay. So the student's option probably would have... Okay, gotcha. A neutral option that doesn't make any strong committal. Fair enough. Alright. So here we go. Your heart beats in time with it now. You recall the murder of Patriarch Fotis a year ago. It seems more patriarchs share his doctrine now. The news of Junius Diamond joining the new faith is stunning. If an Archnean from a great dynasty is sided with Fotis' doctrine...
champion returns. Welcome.
Appreciate that, Silver. Welcome back for the 9 months.
Baby ought to be here any day.
Yeah. It's gonna be a delight. We'll serve it up with some rutabaga. The news of Junius Diamond joining the new faith is stunning. If an Archnean from a great dynasty is sided with Fotis' doctrine and agreed to see everyone as equals under the twins, a new faith must truly be putting down roots. That's true. That's the ruling class. A member of the ruling class. I think the Diamonds are one of the smaller houses of the sword, though. I think. But still, it's good progress for the new faith, for the Reformations. Luke's sermon. But suddenly, several figures appear by the podium. Figures clad in black with glinting silver on their sides. Inquisitors. They push through the crowd and form a circle around Patriarch Luke. One of these priests rises before the crowd. He is clean-shaven, tall, with chiseled features. Everyone falls silent at the sight of him. The Inquisitor speaks with a booming voice that can be heard by all. I am Father Ulrich. In the name of the twins, and by my right as an Inquisitor, I order you to turn around and leave. The words you are hearing are full of lies. Patriarch Luke has sent out to poison your hearts and minds, and the Inquisition will not allow this heresy to spread. The only true path in life is the will of the twins. Life offers us no other choice. You are hereby ordered to disperse at once. Watch out for the stakes, Joe. I'm good at dodging. I'll just... woof, woof, woof. They won't hit me. We got it. Most people leave the square immediately. Few want to get involved with the Inquisition. Some people stay, however. And some even shout angrily, "We want to listen to Luke! He is the Patriarch of Archnia, and he has more to say! Get away from our sermon, old believers! We will not listen to you and your hoary old lies about the lots!" Inquisitors, bring those who may yet listen back to their lots, and leave the others to the champions of faith. Oh. The black-clad Inquisitors descend from the podium and approach the people who chose to stay. With nothing but their words, they make people stop shouting and start listening. The uproar ceases quickly. They have dissected the crowd, split it into smaller groups that surround each Inquisitor. One of these Inquisitors chooses to approach you. It's time to die! Hooray, our first death! He is a humble-looking man of age with a rough haircut. That is a rough haircut. He looks at you straight in the eye, as his lively, soulful voice forces you to listen to his words despite yourself. Damn, they're using the deep magic on me. My name is Father Jeremiah. I know your thoughts were stirred by the Patriarch's words. You're not sure of whom to trust. But I teach at the seminary. I have been studying the teachings of the twins my entire life. You can trust me. I know you can hear what I have to say. I see the light in your eyes, the light of the true faith. Will you listen to my counsel, my son? You feel no malice in the words of the Inquisitor, Jeremiah, only hope. Is it his lot to aid you, to guide you away from the error and set you on the path of the true faith? He is a priest, so he should know the truth. Or perhaps the Inquisitor himself is in the wrong. 3 options, 1, 2, and 3. Listen to his counsel, debate him, or resist him. trying the Franzicanian haircut, you think it was. I have no idea what it's called. I just know it's common with friars and tucks. 2, 2, 2. That's a strong outing for 2s so far. We have a 1. We have another 2. That's a lot of 2s. Alright, it's going to be tough for 2s for anything to overtake 2s, but we're going to give it a second. We have more 1s coming in. We have a 3. Resist! Sapamini. Oh, I'm always resisting. Alright, it looks like 2 will take it. We will debate him, and probably die. That is not a helpful way to put that. Alright, 2's got 1, 2, 3, that was 4 2s. 4 2s, 2 1s, 3s, etc., etc., etc. Okay. The Order of Frenzicus used that haircut, you think? Okay, I'm not familiar with the Order of Frenzicus, so I'll have to take your word on that. We shall debate. You argue against the Inquisitor and in favor of the new faith. What's the third option? You refuse to be ordered around by him. It is not the clergy's place to give order. This is probably going to get us killed, so maybe it's a good thing we didn't resist. Death by Inquisition. Hooray! Alright, we debate him. Honestly, this could lead to a death too, so we're going to have to see. You start debating the Inquisitor, mustering all of your knowledge and awareness of the new faith. Lots are an error introduced by Asatius. They are incorrect, obsolete, and contrary to the way of life of the modern empire. Please hear me out, my son. In these difficult times, people of your estate are the ones most tormented by doubt. Your lot is suffering, but not all of you are ready to suffer. Some turn to guile and cunning to avoid it, and they end up in eternity's embrace at the foot of the pillar. They probably like feet. Please understand, your lot requires humility. Suffering is inevitable, and so is doubt. Each of them may temper your soul, yet each may also destroy it. But know this, if you have doubts, you are always welcome at the temple. No priest will turn you away in a moment of weakness. This is why we exist, to fortify the faith in the hearts of our people, to bring the word of the twins to those who have gone astray. Know this, the Inquisition does not imprison everyone suspect of heresy. We exist to protect souls, to guide and save them. We pursue dangerous doctrines and seek to rescue every soul we meet. Arrest or execution is our last resort, reserved only for sinners beyond redemption. You can see that I am merely speaking to you right now. I have not resorted to force, nor am I giving you any orders. Do not resist this, but rather consider the following. Did the Patriarch speak the truth? You answered that Luke's sermon was far more convincing than Father Jeremiah's words. Everyone blindingly heeds the writings of Asatius. It was but one man who decided he had the right to define the lives of generations to come. But people have the right to free will, you say. They have the right to choose their destiny and bear the burden of their choice. Father Jeremiah sighs in response. It saddens me to see that you have been led astray so easily. Yet you are young, you should seek to learn the truth on your own. If you truly believe that you can interpret the will of the gods, perhaps you should become a priest yourself. If you come to the Divine Seminary and prove you deserve the lot of the clergy, you will be accepted. I teach there, and I am always happy to see students of considerable talent, even if they have been led astray. But for now, you should leave this place. You will learn nothing by facing the champions of faith. With this, Father Jeremiah leaves you and proceeds further. You leave the square freely, your dignity preserved. The remaining people in the square continue arguing with the other inquisitors. Armed champions of the faith stand nearby, but they do not intervene. Luke and his retinue can no longer be seen. You walk back to the lodging house, mulling over Father Jeremiah's words about the seminary. Your family sent you to earn a noble title, but you have an opportunity to become a priest, of the old faith or the new. If you see your destiny in service to the gods, no one has the right to stand in your way. Our eloquence has increased. We are now clear of speech. We've gotten that little hodunk backwater town out of us. Wait. Year 1134, Fall. The advance of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermons have converted many commoners and nobles of the mantle to the new faith. There are now several temples in Eterna that follow the new canons, with Luke's blessing. This has led to no small amount of anger among the followers of the old faith. Two mighty bishops of the church lead the new faith. One of them is Luke, the Patriarch of Archnia himself, spiritual mentor of the capital province. He preaches all across Archnia, his every sermon adding to the new faith's flock. The other leader of the new faith is Patriarch Junius Diamond. Hailing from a great Archnean dynasty, he is the de facto ruler of Astinia province. Adored by his subjects, he has founded the Holy Order anew. Junius Diamond rarely preaches, but people believe the Astinian Patriarch attends to the needs of all who convert to the new faith. This schism within the church is growing. The split has furthered the divide between the commoners and the nobles, though thankfully there has been no direct conflict as of yet. But it has become clear that there is no way to stop the steady advance of the new faith. Born from the death of Patriarch Fotis, it grows stronger by the day. Hey, Coil Twitch bot. Appreciate the 100 biddies. Church has increased, order has decreased. Why is it every time we make a decision, order gets lower? Schism. Hey, we're moving it towards the new faith. Alright. Perfect. Alright, there's something we need to see now. New information has been a new location. Where was it? It was Nope. Astinia, okay. The heart of the Empire. So this is where Junius Diamond is basically a lordship over. It's taking fame websites. We haven't had a want to be famous in a couple of days. I kind of feel weird about that. I mean, BigJoeBear's had nobody to smite down. It's strange. Feels uncomfortable. BigJoeBear's bloodlust will grow and might strike me down. Okay, Astinia. The heart of the Empire, Astinia is a province of bountiful harvests. This land is the main stronghold of the new faith, where commoners and nobles alike follow the new doctrine. This land is ruled by the old Archnean Diamond dynasty, but only Patriarch Junius Diamond, the Archduke's elder brother and leader of the church in the province, wields actual authority in Astinia. Okay, so it's actually a more prominent house than I thought it was. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. And then Orda is the main location here. Once a mere outpost of the Empire in its nascent years, the Fortress of Orta was built to fight off the heathens. It is the founding place of the Holy Order and contains their citadel and headquarters. When the Empire united all the lands in the realm, Orta grew into a city of considerable size. So, that's in... I can't tell if that's in Illyria. I think that's in Astinia. Yes, that is in Astinia. Okay, it's like the only place in Astinia of note. So, it looks like if the new faith has taken over the entire district, if you will, or what do you state, or just state, it's probably state, then that would mean the military force of Orta is under the influence of the new faith now. So the new faith is not fangless in all of this. Their seat of power is a little far away from Eterna, admittedly. You know, almost a month away. And that's by carriage. Marching would be a little longer. But there does seem to be some degree of force behind the new faith as well. Interesting. Okay, back to the story. Now that we have that piece of information. The next few weeks pass by in hard work and preparation for the coming entrance exam at the Imperial College. You grow more and more exhausted with each passing day, so much so that one night you fall asleep while studying another book. When you finally come to, you decide it is high time to get some recreation outside. The city of Eterna amazes you as you stroll through its splendid streets. It is another night, a different night, yet the city is still beautiful. The shining pillar is a slice of light against the dark night sky. The lamps on the facades of the buildings are lit. Light descends on the capital. You don't feel like going back to your books tonight. Recently, you made the acquaintance of several young men. They are children of nobles of the mantle, just like you. sent to the capital to earn their noble titles at the college. You decide to seek them out. Your new friends are having a late dinner on the next street over, loudly discussing their plans for the night. Some speak eagerly of a dueling club, where you can see the most skilled and ardent duelers in the Empire doing what they do best. You have never seen professional duelers fight. Must be far more exciting than Father's fencing lessons, or that fight in the ruins of Enizot. And if luck favors you, perhaps you can even make useful contacts among the noble families in the capital. The others try to convince the rest to take a trip to a certain secret salon. The establishment is expecting a guest tonight, they say, a young lady who speaks about the true state of affairs in the Empire. There are many questions about the nature of the place and identity of the mysterious speaker, but the young men have only one answer. They are forbidden to speak about this outside of the club. First rule, don't talk about the club. However, they can take you there as long as you aren't afraid to learn a dangerous truth. There are others still, drinking their fill of wine rather than eating. Fencing, they say. Speeches. Nonsense. The place you want to go tonight, they claim, is the Mercian Society, a gathering for those of common estate but uncommon opinions that offers pleasure for everyone. Pleasures of the palate, pleasures of drink, pleasures of the flesh. Is this not heresy and a crime? Perhaps. And yet some of your newfound friends are eager to go there. In the end, your group split in 3 to spend the night as they see fit. What will it be? A contest featuring the best fencers in Eterna? An establishment both mysterious and dangerous? Or an encounter with people who defy their lot with audacity? You weigh your options. Alright, chat, go to the dueling club, go to the secret salon, or go to the Mercian Society. 1, 2, or 3. It's a holy order. 3, you won't regret it. 1, 2, or 3. We have a 3 and we have a 2. We have a 2. We have 2 2s. We have a 1. We have another 3. We have a tie between 2 and 3. Do we have a tiebreaker? If not, I'm warming up the dice. I'm making the roll now just in case. Okay, the roll has been made. You break the tie then, 1. That's not a... We have a 3-way tie. Damn it. I need to roll a different dice. Hold on. How you doing, Riv? I'm proud of you, Riv. Oh, hey, we have a tie break. Bob wants 1. That is 3 for 1. The tie is broken. Riv didn't make it worse. Riv made it better. Look, Riv's... Nobody understands Riv's genius. Riv is a secret brilliance. Fuck you, comrade. Okay, we have a tie between 2 and 1 now. Comrade made the tie. I know, I see him there. Okay, I'm re-rolling the dice. Hold on. We have another 2. The tie is broken again. In 2's favor this time. Alright, I don't have to roll the dice as of right now. Alright, hot opinions are still coming in. We'll give it a second. Not that I'm rooting for a tie or anything. I never root for a tie, but just to make sure everyone has a chance. You know. Okay. Looks like 2's taking it. You understood your own genius once, but your brain was too mortal to comprehend it, so now you were like this. I'm not a hot opinion, I'm a hot mess. Fair enough. Alright, go to the secret salon. You chose to see this mysterious lady and listen to her dangerous speech. We've been trying to reach out to you about your car's extended warranty. Now that we've got you all trapped in here, doors lock behind you, slam shut. Very dangerous. Okay. Oh, that's very mysterious and intimidating. Very dangerous. The Secret Salon is an unremarkable wooden building down an alleyway, a few blocks from the Great Temple of the Twins. A couple of tough, taciturn fellows at the door eye you suspiciously. Their faces are obscured by hoods. One of your newfound friends nods to them, and you are allowed inside. Calls for the past month. Gets a little too close to home. The inner rooms are stuffy and overcrowded. All the partitions have been removed to make room for more people. There is a raised platform next to one of the walls, perhaps a stage. There are benches all around. They are occupied by people of the common estate, most of them modestly dressed. They are artisans, tinkers, street vendors, students. Yet you see that some of them are wealthy and impeccably dressed. A mop-headed young man, dressed like a low-ranking clerk, appears on the stage. He claps to attract the public's attention. When the house goes quiet, he reads a series of pamphlets condemning the supreme authorities of the Empire and their obsolete rule. A group of young men appear on the stage next, their faces covered in blue paint. They perform a derisive play entitled A Day in the Life of the Tempests. The Tempests are the main ruling dynasty. They are like, in Arcane society, the Tempests are at the top. The Emperor is from the Tempest dynasty. The performances are many, but their goal is always the same. They all claim the Empire is stuck in the past and has to change. Then, finally, after another voice of accusation, a young girl appears on the stage, and the crowd immediately grows silent. You humored them. You said once, "Oh my god, I've been waiting for your call." And the guy on the other end said, "I doubt that." This is her, the mysterious guest they were talking about. You look at her from the crowd. You see short black hair, a slender figure, and those familiar shining eyes. Oh shit, it's our crush from when we died as a child. Our first emotional contact. It's her, the witch. She's back. I think. Familiar shining eyes. She had shining eyes, that's for sure. It's Sophia. She's back. She's got a new hairdo. I guess she had to go into hiding, so it makes sense. Brothers and sisters, you all came to this place because deep in your hearts you know. It's Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She's grown so much since you've last seen her. But what is she doing here? But before Sophia even finishes her first sentence, a short man in a shabby jacket jumps up to the stage. He flashes a badge and screams at the crowd. Nobody move! You're all under arrest as accomplices to an insurrection against the Empire! Imperial gendarmes barge into the house, swords and crossbows glint in the dim light. First there is confusion, then panic. Screams of fear and outrage fill the hall. Sophie is already gone. You can barely hear the cries demanding that you stay where you are. People start pushing against the gendarmes, against the doors, against the windows. The din is deafening. Only one thought remains in your mind. You have to run. Run away as fast as you can. You push your way to the furthest window in the hall. A hand grabs you by the sleeve of your jacket. You pry it off without looking and keep pushing forward. The expensive jacket starts to tear at the shoulder. The window frame breaks and falls outside. You drop down after it. Shards of glass bite into your hands, but you barely feel the pain. You will have time to feel it later, but now you need to run. You run and dodge and weave through the alleyways before finally heading for the lodging house. Your heart is racing, your hands are shaking. Blood is dripping from the cuts on your arms. You have no idea what happened to the people who were arrested. Finally, you reach your room and collapse onto the bed. You are safe from pursuit, but not from anxiety. What was Sophia going to say? How did she end up here in the capital after she escaped? Was she arrested too? There are too many questions, but you have no way to answer them. Eventually, you drift off into restless sleep. Hey, you were... Hey, look at that. We're still inexperienced, fuck. She was the girl we died for? Yes, she was. The one we got trampled, saving. And then almost died too again, helping her escape the Archnean Noble of the Sword. Not talking about the dueling club. Well, you know, the chat has decided. Chat makes its decisions. I'm just the arbiter of action. And occasionally a guiding force, when necessary. We should have gone to Fight Club, because that would have gone a lot better. I think all three options would have ultimately kind of had some negative aspect to them. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Hey, at least we didn't die, so that's good. You were on your way to the largest library in Eterna to study for your entry exams. It is right next to the college. The streets are full of people. Everybody is excited. You hesitate for a few seconds, then let your curiosity get the better of you and head towards the place where you will soon study. Before long, you hear the shouting. The great chancellor is about to give a speech about the future of the Empire. Interesting. The Code of Laws. Okay. Spring. We skipped winter. Went right to spring. You cannot possibly miss this. You mix with the crowd and soon find a convenient place to listen and watch what is about to unfold. On the steps of the college, you see a small tribune guarded by 2 Archneans armed with swords. This is the first time you have ever seen an Archnean standing guard, let alone 2 of them. The doors of the college open to reveal a stately Archnean surrounded by honor guard. It is he, Cornelius Tempest, Great Chancellor of the Empire, younger brother to the Emperor himself. He heads for the tribune and casts a look over the square. It is full of people in awe and utter silence. Long ago, humans witnessed the Archneans' arrival. The 2 nations built the Empire side by side. The provinces joined us one by one, and Magra was the final province to attain the absolute might and majesty of the blessed Archnean Empire. Yet there was another great event long before that. 1,000 years ago, the twins had graced us with their presence. With their arrival, the twins granted us their will, they showed us their love and their law, and they granted us knowledge of what awaits in the hereafter. They chose the dynasty of Tempest to rule the Empire, and from that day forth our dynasty has ruled this land, ordained by the gods themselves. However, it is our duty to the twins not to seek power for power's sake, but rather to lead the Empire into further prosperity, and so the Great Imperial Council is soon to review and adopt a new set of laws called the Creed. Under the Creed, all estates will be granted rights. Under the Creed, there will be one law for all Imperial citizens to obey, human or Archnean, from the lowliest commoner to the Emperor himself. The strife among the estates will end. A single law will resolve all of our quarrels. Glory to the Empire! Unlikely! Prove it! Grab a pen! Wiggle it a bit. A great chancellor throws his arms into the air. Ah! The crowd murmurs and applauds in approval. Cornelius Tempest casts another look over the crowd and leaves. The crowd disperses. The sounds of agitated discussion are everywhere. Is it true that the Emperor's dynasty seeks to grant equal rights to all estates? What will happen to the Empire then? I don't know if that's exactly what he just said, but well, we'll see, I guess. Power has decreased. The struggle continues. The girl from your past. It is early morning. You have been awakened. You have been awake since sunrise, studying. There is a knock at the door. Is it a letter from home? Or hotel servant? You open the door and freeze, stunned. Hello, Aunt. That's Butterball to you. I gave a lesser death for you, Sophia. You can at least call me Butterball. You owe me that much. Before you stand Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She is all grown up now. She looks so different, but you would always recognize those blue eyes, no matter what. You gesture for her to come in. Sophia enters the room, glances around, and sits in an armchair. You eye the girl you used to know as you sit across from her. But the young woman you see now has little in common with the girl you used to know. There is cold steel in the way she looks at things. Her hair is cut short. But what is she doing here? I can explain. I've been living in Eterna for a long time now, ever since I ran from Amazon. I heard the other day that you'd left for the capital to get into the college, so I found you, and here I am. You ask how Sophia learned about your arrival, and and where you were staying, but she answers your questions with an enigmatic smile. We'll get to that later. Right now, I want to see how much you've changed since we last saw each other. As for me, I've changed a lot. I'm a whole different person now. I grew up and I'm into share. An occasional wine by the fire. You look away as you recall your previous encounter, back when Sophia ran, away from her Arcnean master. Sophia chuckles as she continues. Would you like to know what happened next? I traveled through the entire empire all alone. I had nothing. My journey ended only when I reached this place, the capital, with all its important people and events. This is the heart of the empire. It's a place where I can make a difference. I've made friends here, found people I can truly call my family. I've even gotten an education of sorts, and I have a purpose now. I fight against injustice. I fight against the lots. I fight those who treat our lives like mud on the pavement. And no, I'm not afraid to tell you that. I came to you for good reason. I need help. I know you. I have faith in your good heart. Besides, this is also about the Imperial College you want to enroll in. There is a scholar there by the name of Bartholomew Dextra. He teaches natural sciences at the college. Dextra is an old man, but he's quite progressive. He'll stop at nothing to advance science and acquire new knowledge. As you know, only second-generation nobles or above are allowed to teach at the college, but Dextra, he is a commoner. He forged his patent of nobility to get a position at the college. Oh! But the secret chancellery recently learned of this. Dextra's about to face true death for this forgery. But how is that justice? A man wants to teach people, and for this they're going to take all his lives. They're going to punish him for the crime of being born in the wrong estate. It's evil and obscene, and I will not stand for it. Dextra deserves to be rescued. But I don't want to put anyone in danger, so I need your help! Oh boy! Nobody in danger, huh? Butter my bread! Okay. I've gained my composure. She keeps track of your lives. God damn it. You're from a rich family. You're almost a noble. You help me get Dexter out of the city. Nobody will suspect anything. No one will know, and the scholar will live on to continue his research elsewhere, far away from the secret chancellery. Will you help me? You feel perplexed by Sophia's sudden request. She is asking you to break Imperial law and undermine the work of the secret chancellery to save the scholar. Rescuing Dextra would be an adventure, but it would also be incredibly dangerous. And besides, Dextra is a fake noble. He was ordered to lies and deceit to get his current position. How much does this matter to you? Sophia's blue eyes are studying you, waiting for your reply. We have three options. We have two options. We have... Yeah, two options. Help her or refuse. Helping will cost some willpower. I believe we currently have 20 willpower banked up right now. Ryan for Ryan. You already died once. But this is gonna get me killed again, probably. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I guess it's gonna come down to our decisions. Two. 1. We have a tie. 1s and 2s. 1. Well, I already counted you as a 1, Mike. Can you see the prerequisite of option 3? Option 3 was... we needed Sophia to be merciless. We really needed her to hate us. So we had to basically betray her. Once or twice. Yeah, we basically had to... You were not the scheming guy. Well, I don't know. Sometimes, you know. So we have a tie. 1 and 2. We're not going to look to see what happens with either one. We leave it a mystery until we choose. Do we have a tie break? If not, the dice are ready. 1. Well, that's a strong tie break. 1. Jesus. 1. All right, that's 5 1s. 1s will take it for sure. Okay. You can't change it now, but it doesn't matter. It's too late. You can't retie it. Damn it. Alright. You're already in the book. It's written down in everything in permanent marker. It's too late. The numbers are in. Well, even if we tally the two. Alright. We help. I wonder if, So, a quick question for those in the know about the game. Can certain events cost more than 5 willpower? So far, we have not run into one that costs more than 5. You can always run a pull. That's just guaranteed to end at a tie, though. TZ will come out of hiding to tie that. Yes, okay, so some of them can cost more. Alright, well, let's see. It's true we're not a particularly good schemer, but you never know. We do seem to have a soft spot for Sophia. So, it kind of makes sense the character would assist, considering he literally gave a life for her at some point. You know. And almost gave a second one. You promised to help Sophia. Bartholomew Dextra does not deserve this. He has to leave the capital. She can count on you. We're gonna die, chat. We're gonna die. We're dead. Permanent, here we go. That's fine. Honestly, we're on quota to get 1 death per chapter so far. Which means we're not gonna see chapter 5. But still, it's fine. What helps us to be the patriarch of the new faith? True. Honestly, this decision could spin any number of directions. And could ultimately, yeah, like, this is a fairly open thing here. So, this could help or detract from any number of paths. So this doesn't really particularly line up with anything in that regard. This is almost kind of like a secondary path going parallel, if you will. Excuse my use of large words like cat and rabbit. I don't know, hard to say. We'll just have to see. I knew I could count on you. Then we must act at once. There's no time to waste. Dextra is to be arrested tomorrow. Here's his address. Go there as soon as the sun sets. No one will suspect you. Dextra often tutors young men for the college entrance exams. I'll tell him the owl sent you. Use the back door to get out. The carriage will drive up to the backyard. The driver will hoot like an owl. They better have that as a recorded sound file, I swear to God. He'll take you to the south gate. If the guards stop the carriage, just talk your dog. Hey, we are good at diplomacy. Hey, diplomacy. That's kind of that's our thing. That's our shtick. We're good at that. Once you're outside of the city, Dexter will ride away in a different carriage. You'll go back to the way you came. I'll meet you in the Majesty Square. Okie dokie. Passenger death. Oh. You nod to her words, and your hands start to shake. You're about to go against the secret chancellery. You are going to help someone escape punishment. To defy your own lot like this, it's unthinkable. Technically, we've defied our lot a lot. Our character is not particularly keen on the lot system, as designed so far. When the sun sets, you leave the lodging house and walk quickly. Glancing over your shoulder, repeated, "Oh yeah, way to look inconspicuous, you dumbass." Bartholomew Dexter's house must be somewhere around here. Well, if we didn't tip him off, we have now. Fantastic. I'm excited for this. You find the place. A genteel old man opens the door. His face is covered in wrinkles, his shoulders are stooped, and yet his eyes are sharp and lively. Bartholomew Dexter looks at you for a moment, then asks why you have paid him a visit. You tell him you want to enroll in the college and are looking for a tutor. Dexter nods and invites you inside. Once you make sure nobody else can see or hear you, you whisper to the scholar about the real reason for your visit. The secret chancellery will be coming for him tomorrow. He has to leave now to escape true death. Dexter freezes and then turns to you. How do you know about him in the secret chancellery? You tell him that the owl sent you and has provided for its escape. As for the secret chancellery, they want him for forging a patent of nobility. The moment you utter Sophia's name, the lecturer calms down and starts packing for the journey. You watch him distractedly and notice that he lives a rather austere fashion. It does not take him long to pack. You hear the quiet clacking of hooves in the yard. Carefully, you and Dexter proceed to the backyard of the building. You see a carriage there. The driver hoots quietly. You get in. Damn it, they didn't do the hoot. Chad, they didn't hoot. I was hoping for a hoot. Hoot, hoot. Hoot, hoot. Hoot, hoot. That would have been easy. It's hoot, hoot. In fact, if they want to, I will do the hooting. I will hoot for this. Just kind of lay it underneath the clapping and clopping. I'll do hoot, hoot. I can hoot for them. You see a carriage there. The driver hoots quietly. You get in. The carriage rolls down the road. There is a tense silence in the closed-off space inside the carriage. The scholar wrings his hands anxiously. Through the carriage windows, you see the massive city gate passing by. You are almost outside the city, but then a loud voice reaches you. Halt! The driver obediently halts the carriage. Two city gendarmes approach you. You leave the carriage to face the gendarmes before they can get a peek inside the carriage. They look you over and ask where you are going so late at night. You tell them you are the son of a judge in Magra, here to enroll in the college, and right now you wish to visit the estate of a newfound friend. To convince them further, you mention the name of a noble's son you have become friendly with. The gendarmes release the carriage and wish you a pleasant trip. Fucking nailed it! Diplomacy, baby! Or lying out through our teeth, which is practically diplomacy, at the end of the day. You drive along the high road until you encounter a peasant wagon. Dexter will take it to seek refuge far away from the capital. Before the two of you part ways, he pats you on the shoulder and tells you that you have done a truly brave deed. You return to the city without incident. You find Sophia in Majesty Square, as agreed, sitting on a bench by a streetlight, reading a book of some sort. She closes the book when she sees you, and offers you her hand. So, did everything go according to plan? You nod. Then we've earned ourselves a bit of free time. Let's go. You set off on a walk through the maze of narrow back streets. Finally, you have some time for questions. What happened to Sophia over the last 2 years? She was just a girl before, a servant. How is she now a revolutionary? Sophia just smiles sadly. You've seen what I can do. I'm not just a girl. The Inquisition caught up with me when I ran away from Enazat. I ended up in the House of Humility. A dreadful place. I got collared. You know how it feels to lose your free will. Lose everything that makes you, you. She unclasps the tall shirt collar that had been hiding her neck all this time, and you see the round mark from the anti-magic collar. She is a witch, and the collar is made of pure silver, which suppresses magical power. They say a scar like this will remain even after a lesser death, but I got lucky. Patriarch Janius Diamond saved me. Diamond took me and the other mages from the House of Humility and removed their collars. He made me one of his attendants. He taught me that there are no lots. He told me that I'm like this not because I'm a freak, because it's my nature. He told me I can find a path to the twins like anyone else in the world. And then I was taken. I got out on my own. I found my own lot, to protect the common people from the noble yoke, help others who are as unlucky as I am, to fight for a different world, a world where everybody has equal rights, a world where mages don't get robbed of their will just because of one aspect of their birth, a world where the nobles no longer tread upon the commoners. Yes, this is our dream, but we are still so far away from it. But I will keep moving towards it, and I'll stop at nothing. A strange, distorted expression appears on Sophia's face, but she quickly returns to normal. You keep walking until you are at your lodge house again. For a moment, you just stand there looking at each other. And then suddenly, Sophia shocks you with electrical power! Sophia embraces you. For a moment, she remains still in your arms and whispers, "You should join my cause. If we work together, one day we'll become a force to be reckoned with. I know you came here to find your way, but I'll never believe you really want to bind yourself to other people's laws and desires for the rest of your life. The path I walk is dangerous. It's almost hopeless, but it's worth living for. Think about it. Goodbye." And then she zaps you with a... She's apparently an electrical witch. I don't know if there's a lot of cross-elemental power, but it seems so far witches can either be fire-focused, electricity-focused, or that's it. Those are the only two we've seen so far. Fire and electricity. Then she withdraws just as quickly and disappears in the dark streets of Eterna. You make your way back to your room, exhausted by the events of the day. Was this really just a single day in your life? We have sympathy. We are +3. Wait, weren't we higher than that? Weren't we already a +3? Did we go down somewhere? Shucks. Oh, we're a +3 again. And we have trusting status. Excellent. You should work on Sophia's voice. Nope, I like it. Alright, scheming has increased. Valor has increased. That's good for us. We do like Valor. I don't know how we gain... Well, I mean, I guess they kind of define Valor as your fighting ability, but Valor isn't necessarily... Valor is a matter of action. So, even without conflict, we took a valorous action. We took charge of the situation when we got out of the carriage and confronted the... Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And our scheming has increased. We're still inexperienced. Fantastic.
I will never forget that day. For it was then that I chose the path I would walk for the rest of my life.
Oh boy. Time to make a choice. A big one. The 3 lots. There are only a few days left until the Imperial College entrance exam. History, law, theology. You spend all day reading and rereading the books you brought with you. Staying at the Library of Eterna for hours, sometimes until it closes. As the day of the exam approaches, your hands start shaking more and more. And finally, the day comes. A clear sky hangs over Eterna today. The breeze is warm. You dress in your best outfit, a gray jacket and velvet culotte trousers. You comb your hair carefully and polish your boots until they shine. You leave the lodging house and head for the Imperial College. Your legs grow heavier with each step. Your anxiety at the fact your fate will be decided today is virtually tearing you apart. The college is a majestic building that looks not unlike a castle. In the square in front of it, you can already see several dozen people, young men, sons of nobles of the mantle like you, waiting for the college's doors to open. Time slows to a crawl. At last, the doors open. A stately man dressed in a professor's mantle appears at the entrance. He is the dean of the college. The students-to-be fall silent as the dean gets ready to deliver his welcoming speech. But the silence is interrupted by heavy footsteps and clanking armor. A squadron of warriors emerge near the college, led by Archnean officers. Their banner bears an image of golden grains. The noble militia of Monia Province? What are they doing here? Okay. New introduction. Monia Province. The bastion of the Archnean aristocracy, protected from the rest of the Empire by the sea and a mountain ridge. It is the second oldest province of the Empire. Here the noble traditions of yore are the strongest, and the lowly lot is denied all freedoms save those they absolutely require. The Monrogue dynasty conquered Monia long ago, and now reigns supreme in this impregnable province. They have 2 locations of note: Montis, the capital of Monia province and the most well-defended citadel in the Empire. Montis is commonly known as the pillar of the old Archnean knightly spirit, and is the site of many a great tournament. Archduke Monrogue, like other Monrogues before him, boasts that the walls of Montis will survive any siege. And finally, Garcia. The Sea Gate of Monia. Garcia is the only safe haven among the province's rocky shores. Well fortified and dangerous, this haven will accept no visiting ship without permission from the Monrogue dynasty. So it's a very militaristic province. Okay. What are they doing here? Grandfather's teachings. No. Grandfather's gonna rest for eternity in that damn crypt. The nobles of Monia form a circle around the college, each warrior moving quietly and precisely until a chain is formed. One of the Archneans is clad in an old-fashioned suit of armor. He's the leader of the militia. He locks the bar on the massive doors of the college into place, then proceeds to the stairs to address the crowd loudly. Oh, not that one. Okay. You mean the old twin. Oh, yes. Aegirius Monrogue. Holy shit, he's a looker. Damn, our eyes truly are blessed this day. Commoners, before you stands Egerius of the Monroe dynasty, Archduke of Mernia. By my will, the college is hereby closed and today's entrance exam is cancelled. Your lowly origins make you unfit for the great honor of rendering service to the Empire. A right set out to be available only to the hereditary nobles of the sword. The college's reputation has been tarnished. It breeds mock nobles who bear not a trace of noble blood. You belong in the lowly estate, but have forgotten your place. Cornelius Tempest and other traitors to the Empire are indulging you in defacing the institution of nobility for their lowly interests. A noble lot for those of lowly birth, how can this be? I will not stand for this disintegration of the Imperial Order. Now turn away from the college this instant and return to the humble trades of your ancestors. Plow your fields, mend your boots, and work and suffer by your lot. If any of you dares to set foot upon these stairs, you will be killed at once. The students-to-be meet this speech with a stunned silence. The crowd in the square is growing, however. The news of the Monian noble militia and the college's closing spreads through the streets like wildfire. More humans join the crowd. College students, commoners, officials who worked hard to be ennobled. Unrest grows around you. You hear people calling to rush Archduke Monroe's forces to take control of the college and defend your right to become noble. The Emperor himself gave us this right. We have to fight for it! This is a decisive moment for all of you. The old gentry has challenged you. Will you accept this challenge? In the face of this shameful illegal act by the Archduke's forces, you may prove that all of you deserve the noble lot. You will need to break through the cordon, get inside the college, and take control of it. The nobles will never dare hurt you if your presence is strong enough. If you are ready to risk it all and fight for your right to the nobility, you will have to lead the charge. People keep coming to the square in the meantime, including students and teachers from the Divine Seminary. The lot of the clergy is to guide others to the right path. When the estates clash, the priests are bound to intervene. The seminary teachers instruct their students to form a line between the noble militia and the outraged crowd. The priests begin telling the warrior nobles and the riotous commoners to return the preordained divine order lest they provoke the wrath of the gods. The wrath of the gods. As the priests utter these words, the crowd around you disappears. A vision appears before your eyes. The Empire is ablaze. You see burning lands steeped with pain and despair everywhere you look, rivers overflowing to extinguish the burning world. You can tell that soil scorched by such fire will never bear fruit again. The gods' given vision demands to be heard, demands to be prophesied to the world, but only a priest may speak to the twins, and for the twins. Will you keep it inside, or will you step onto the path the twins have revealed to you? Somebody shoves you in the back, and you snap out of the vision. You turn around to see a small but decisive troop of commoners moving quickly through the crowd. They are led by Sophia. As soon as she sees you, she signals to them to stop. So you're here too, going to rush the college, are you? Can't you see it already? The laws cannot be trusted. They gave you the right to study here just to throw you a bone. When the going gets tough, your masters will take it all away. It's time for you to decide. We are the Lotless, and we are not putting up with this system any longer. We will fight for a new world. Are you coming with us, or are you going to submit to them? There are students and professors locked inside the college. Who knows how long Monroe will maintain this siege? And what if they start slaughtering people? Neither group of nobles will care what happens to them. We're going to go inside and pull them out. Come with us if you're ready to take control of your own destiny. The tension in the square is palpable, and the situation is about to implode. Students, commoners, nobles of the mantle, followers of the new faith, all of them are gathering their forces to move on the wall of soldiers. They expect the nobles to let them through en masse. Surely they won't start a massacre. The Lotless, led by Sophia, prepare to break through the siege to rescue the people in the college. And all the while, the priests preach peace to both sides of the conflict. The college is your only way into the nobility. Only you can fight for your new lot and fulfill your duty to your family. You could organize an offensive strong enough to get into the college, and thus seize your lawful right like a true nobleman. Yet the revelation about the wrath of the gods still pulses in your mind. Once revealed, this vision will take you on a different path. Standing with the priests and preaching what you have just seen, warning all of of the dire danger on the path of warring estates, bringing the twins' word to the people and guiding them to salvation. Could this be your new lot? Sophie and the Lotless, they expect you to join their struggle. They are waiting for you to cast off the old ways and the eternal yoke of subservience. If you choose this path, you will not change your lot, and your suffering will continue. But your suffering might just change this world. This is the moment. Your future life will be decided here and now. Okay, chat. Technically, we have a viable reason for all three options. Breaking through the cordon into the college. That's, you know, our characters always went headstrong, and that is what our family would do. And on our first true death, we chose our family as our reason for existing. Preaching your revelation, technically, on our second, you know, this is kind of an us-forward move here. And on our second, we chose ourself as our, essentially our own way forward through spirituality in our second death. So, the first two we have pretty strong reasons for. The third one is, we were touched by a girl once, and we kind of like her. So the third option is the weakest of the three for our character at this point, but all three of them are functional choices. So I'm going to stand aside and let you guys decide between all three of them. Do we become a noble? Do we join the clergy? Or do we become a revolutionary and maybe kiss a girl? Those are basically the three paths. So, 2, 1. We have a tie. So anarchy and destruction of the system of lots was always what you wanted, but we know the Gons are legit and the vision is almost right. Number 3 is riots. No, pretty much they're all riots. Pretty much every single option here is a riot. They're all riots. All three of them. Alright, but as of right now, we still have a tie between 2 and 1. The simp option, yes. Number 3 is the simp option. Where is your bloodlust, chat? 3. We have 2. Okay, so 2 and 1 are still tied, but someone has thrown their hat in for number 3. Go vote with Raph. So that's 3 for 2 so far, and 2 for 1. As of right now, 2 is taking it. Silver might have wanted 2 as well. 2, you got 2, okay. Okay, vote for blood. There's gonna be blood in like all 3 of these, Mike. There's gonna be blood. Actually, 2 is probably the least likely to have blood, but we'll probably still have blood. Number 1 is probably the most blood. Number 3 is probably bloody, but less bloody because it's more of the stealth approach. You don't know yet, Joe. Oh, okay. Well, right now, I think 2, because, let's see, how many 2s do we have? 1, 2, 3. We have 3 2s, so 2 is still in the lead. And you vote 1. Fuck, we're tied again. The votes are tied between breaking through the cordon into the college or preaching our revelation. Put you down for 3. Never mind. One is now behind. 1 has switched to 3. So, right now, 2 is winning. Okay. I think everyone who wants a say in it has said. It will be number 2. Oh, damn, we are barely able to do this. Shit. Can we track this with a Twitch poll? God damn it. It'll just end up in a tie. You guys know how polls go. Silver broke it anyway. That's 4 for 2 now. Or no. I already counted silver. Alright. We just barely are able to do this. Holy shit. Like, I think we just got Eloquence 10, didn't we? Okay. Here we go. You preach the twins' vision to the people. They're gonna hit us. The will that guides you now is beyond your own. There was no point in resisting it. The twins speak through you now. You have to follow the will of the twins. You must. You must tell everyone how close they have brought themselves to the point of no return. Oh, only one of the stats, okay. You walk up the stone stairs, raise your hands, and start speaking loudly. Through the din of the mob, the clanging of steel, the preaching of priests, your words still reach the ears of the people. There will be a dreadful fire in the city of the Silver Tree. In its flames, the ancient order will be lost forever. The god's wrath will be upon the empire, and the lands will be soaked with blood. Their judgment will come, followed by the death of all that lives. The last thing the world shall see will be the twins' faces, shedding bloody tears for their beloved creations that have gone astray. Such is the world's fate, yet it is not too late to change it. As you utter the last words of the revelation, you grow numb and rigid as the vision leaves you. There is a crowd around you now. They heard your every word. They heard the twins speaking through you. A hooded man dressed in a black cassock appears before you. He bears the silver seal of the Inquisition. He is accompanied by 2 warriors wearing heavy armor, covered in sacred symbols. Monk.
Seize this pretender, he dares to preach in defiance of his lot.
They grab you by the wrists, gag you, and throw you into a dark carriage. It takes you to the Inquisition ward by the great temple of the twins. A week of silence. This is the Inquisition's punishment for laying claim to the lot of the clergy. You are locked in a tiny cell, a small room normally fit for prayers. The inhuman strength you just felt is gone. You are utterly exhausted. The next week is a blur. You lose track of day and night, of dream and vision and reality. And in those visions, and with your eyes, you see the silver tree, growing through the walls and floor and ceiling of that tiny prayer cell. Then finally the door opens. They take you outside. You face a thin priest with a shaved head and a piercing gaze. You recall his face. He was the man who stopped Patriarch Luke's sermon.
Father Ulrich, good day to you, Brant. My name is Father Ulrich. Your penance is over, and it is a joy to see how you accepted it. Please understand, that penance was for you as a commoner, for such prophecies of warning of the lot of the clergy. But I heard your words there. In the square, the twins spoke to their servants through you.
Well, fuck you! You knew it was the twins talking! Okay.
You came to the college seeking education and a noble title, yes. Its doors will open soon, in no small part due to the efforts of Cornelius Tempest. While that is not your path, what you saw, young Brant, was a revelation. I can see why you had to preach, even in defiance of your lot. But truly understanding the will of the gods is no simple task. It is something you must be taught to do. Your future at the seminary. I can see you are ready to become a priest. The gods themselves have chosen this path for you. I will keep a close eye on your progress, Butterball Brante. You walk out of the Inquisition ward, released. The great bell of the great temple rings, echoing over the capital, and you feel a great union with this sound. It resounds within you, it courses through you, it brings clarity of purpose. Before your mind reacts, your lips are already whispering a prayer. This is it. This is your path. The Divine Seminary is right by the great temple. Its doors always open, and you enter those doors. The teachers will test you in several days. Before that day comes, you must live in a prayer cell at the seminary. When the day comes, they put you to the test. The priest examines you on your knowledge of the prayers, the works of Prophet Isacius, and the signs of the Great Descent. In your response, you mention the silver tree in your hometown. You mention being at its very roots. The final question comes. What brings you here? The wish to see and understand the will and love and the law of the twins, you reply. The priest nods at your words, satisfied. You are now a student of the Divine Seminary. This is now your new home, and the place where you will prepare to receive your new lot. You will become a priest. By the law of the Empire, you cannot inherit family property or titles. You are to carry the word of the twins into the world, from this moment forth, and until true death takes you, the hereafter. They punished the twins? Yep. But we already have a running theory that the twins aren't exactly thrilled with the current lot system. Because there's kind of been some signs in old Butterball Brante's youth that he is somehow chosen by the gods to do something. And honestly, so far it's looking like the gods might want the caste system cast down a bit.
Or at least levied a little differently. So, you change your mind, you want option 1. Too late. Path of the Priest event has happened. We've enrolled in the seminary. We have eloquence in theology. Okay. Our path is before us. We set out to become a noble, and instead, we can become the clergy. Bonds of friendship. You return to the lodging house one last time to gather your belongings for the move to your new home. A young man dressed in the uniform of the military academy greets you by the door. It takes you a moment to recognize Thomas. Your friend locks you in an embrace. Brante, how are you? Heard about the nasty stuff that went down at the college square. Those damn gentry would do anything to keep low-born folks under their thumb. Thought the situation resolved itself. As for me, I'm an academy cadet now. Congratulations. He is beaming with pride. You invite him in and chat while you pack. Thomas continues to relay the news as you walk up the stairs. I made it into the top 10, can you imagine? Did pretty well in sparring in the sciences. It was all thanks to the help you gave me back into school on Amazon. I'll be studying the art of war now, and then it's a quick march to a noble title. How about you? You tell Thomas about what happened over the past few days, and of the path you have chosen. He remains quiet as you speak. Both of you realize that you may never see each other again. You know, Brant, here's what I think. You may have your own path in life, but you're my friend. We gotta make sure our friendship lasts forever, no matter what happens to us. Here, I brought 2 brass rings. If the old tradition is to be believed, both the rings and their wearers will always remain close to each other, no matter where fate takes them. What do you say? The 2 of you grew up side by side. Thomas, the audacious, hot-blooded, sharp-tongued boy who used to live next door. You can't imagine your childhood without him. But would it be right to promise him that your friendship will last forever, no matter what happens? 2 rings made of plain brass lie in his open palm. If you wear these rings, you will be bound by the ties of friendship for the rest of your life. Oh! Okay. Alright, we have 3 options. We can take the ring, we can keep things as they are, or we can end the friendship. What say you? Are we audacious enough to say we will be friends forever? Are we uncertain? We have a 1. We've been through a lot with old Thomas. We conquered a witch together. We defeated a witch of fire. And that it was hot. It burned a little. End the friendship. We're done. Alright, so we have 2 for, I think people are voting for take the ring, which is 2 in the list, but number 1 of our options. Oh, the friendship. Yeah, that one's locked. That one requires, what does that require? Path of the Nobleman, right. Hold up. Oh, God. Alright, which evil? Remember, take the ring is option 1, not option 2. Option 2 is keep things as they are. The poll is up. Make your vote. Cast your lot, if you will. Time ticks away. What are the requirements for the first? We have to be a noble. We have disappointed our family already. Can we now also disappoint our best friend? We've also technically disappointed our potential girlfriend. We're disappointing everyone. Take it. This is why we don't fucking poll, chat. This right here is exactly why we don't poll. Alright, well, there are 3 people for 2 in chat. Nope, there were not. Okay. Alright, well, we have a tie between 2 and 3. Which is 1 or 2. Basically. We have another 1. Okay. Alright. You're on PS4, can't pull. Do the coin thing. I believe Shield couldn't vote in the poll because of PS4, so we will use Shield's. I don't know if Bob voted or not, but Bob also said one. So it looks like Silver Shield will break the tie. Fucking polls on this channel, I swear to God. I know you did that, TZ. I see that pog there. Well, they couldn't vote while it was happening, and it was a fucking tie anyway. We can't go off of a tie. You just wanted to flush out TZ. Well, you did. Congratulations. We have a TZ. I see you there, TZ. Troublemaker. Hold on. We'll give my bitrate a second to chill the funk out here. This is currently flipping its shit. It seems to be calming down now. Okay. Alright. Alright, we're taking the ring then. Well, failed the time to be very... I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. At all. Alright. You take one of the rings from his outstretched palm. The two of you have walked side by side ever since you were children. Even though your paths in life may diverge, nothing will ever tarnish your bond. You're ready to preserve your friendship in brass forever. You put the brass ring to your pinky. A perfect fit. Thomas does the same. He starts beaming again. Now we're friends forever, for all eternity. We gotta celebrate this. Come, I know a place. I gotta show you. Tastiest meat I ever tried. Brant, my treat! The two of you go to a noble saloon by the square of Emperor Severin. Surrounded by tobacco smoke and meat bottles, you wag your tongues, recalling the days of your adolescence and make plans for the future. Nobody knows what could be waiting for you, but you promise you will never lose sight of each other. Bound by friendship. +4, okay. Okay, alright. You and Thomas form an unbreakable bond of friendship. We needed either to be over 3 or a path of the nobleman. Fair enough. A letter from home. Oh, good. I wonder if they've heard the great news. After deciding to enroll in the Divine Seminary, you write back home. It isn't an easy letter to write. Father sent you to the capital to enroll in the college, but who could have predicted Archduke Monroe's assault on the college or the revelation that found you there? Your family replies quickly. You receive their letter in just a week. Father is not happy with your choice, just as you expected. My son, I realize that these are difficult times in the capital. Nobody expected an attack on the college. Had you been more firm, you could have upheld your right to study there. Cornelius Tempest will ensure that the college opens again. Yet you have already rejected the nobleman's lot. It seems your grandfather was right. But your choice is made, so follow it, and study to become a priest. I did not send you to the capital for this, but I accept your choice. Mother, on the other hand, supports you eagerly. She's not going to be happy when she realizes we're new faith. How's your way to nobility going, son? It's going great.
My dearest son, I am so proud that you have chosen to follow your destiny, even if it means going against your father's expectations. I always knew you were born to carry the twins' word in the world. This is as it should be.
Nathan echoes mother's sentiments. Aw, good old Nathan. The path of the faith may be even more noble than the path of a noble. I'm going to go to the seminary and end us out like you. We're gonna live the same life, you and I. You always show me the way. You are not surprised to learn that Stefan and Gloria are disappointed in you, each for their own reasons. Well, fuck me, I guess. How could you defy Father's will? It cost him so much time and money to send you to the capital. Well, alas, what can we do? If the lot of the clergy is your destiny, then so be it. We of the noble lot will attend to our family's future from now on. I wanted you to find your own way, you know, and you to find Father's will, all to bend to the will of the church. I hope this new lot fits you well.
Well, fuck, I'm sorry. And God, I've let the entire family down. I've let them all down, chat.
Well, I didn't leave, little Nathan. We didn't leave little Nathan down. Oh,
Daddy is starting to dislike us immensely.
Please don't die and follow the clergy. We'll see you all next time. Okay, goodbye, immense. Enjoy your rest. Searching for the truth. Lessons at the seminary start early in the morning. Before the lessons come 2 prayers. One privately in your room, then a communal prayer in the refectory. The morning bell eases you from sleep. The morning bell eases you from sleep in the morning. That's a little redundant. Okay. You adjust to the new routine more easily than you would have expected. The seminary students are quite numerous. You have counted more than 30 young adults studying with you. There are both boys and girls, but the girls already cover their hair and keep everyone at a distance. Most of the time, the boys and girls study separately, unless the lesson is of particular importance. The classroom is vast, and the boys and the girls sit separately, watching the aged, unassuming teacher with rapt attention. His name is Father Jeremiah Haig. Hey, it's the guy! He writes a word in large letters on the blackboard. Isacius. Ugh. It is a name you know well. Isacius was a disciple of the twins, the elder's favorite. He wrote the 2 books that lay down the teachings of the twins. The first book tells of how the twins are will and law and love. The second book tells of the lots and how each of the 3 estates is granted its own lot. For the entire first semester, you will study only these 2 books, for they are the foundations of the faith. Father Jeremiah gives a passionate lecture about Isacius and describes his life. His words are filled with reverence. After all, Isacius surely was second to none when it comes to understanding their divine providence. After a dozen days in the seminary, as a student, you hear a rumor. Luke, the Patriarch of Archnia, is about to come here, and the teachers are preparing themselves. Father Jeremiah informs you of the Patriarch's arrival a few days later.
It is tradition that every year the Patriarch of the capital province personally teaches a class for the first-year students of the seminary in Eterna. The lesson in question will be held in 3 days. We teachers are aware that many students are too preoccupied with their current studies to attend this lecture. But I assure you, you should not attend this lesson. It will not affect you in any way. Oh, should you not attend this lesson? They don't want you to attend. But, you know, the students exchange wary glances. Skipping class is normally grounds for harsh punishment. This uncharacteristic mercy is only a few words away from saying you want to skip the lecture. Your curiosity is piqued. What is making the seminary teachers treat the Patriarch's lesson like this? Perhaps you should hear what he has to say and see for yourself. You decide to attend the lecture. The day comes. The lecture hall is half empty. There are several teachers in the hall as well, keenly eyeing every student who has chosen to attend this class. Oh, cool. Thanks. Got it. We're on a list now. A few minutes behind schedule, Patriarch Luke arrives. You recognize his broad shoulders and thick brown beard right away. His eyebrows are thick too, and brown. Half squinting, eyes gaze out from under them. He greets the students with a smile and begins. I don't know if we needed to know about his eyebrows, but okay. It's like they needed an extra sentence there, and we're like, well, he's got eyebrows, let's talk about him. And that hairstyle, now that's something we should have talked about. I mean, look at that, fucking fabulous. Or those brow creases, like canyons. Definitely feels a lot of stress. Oh shit, I skipped it on accident. Okay, we can go back, good. Alright, Patriarch Luke. The air in the seminary is so inspiring. There was a time when I, too, studied the teachings of the twins within these walls. My mind was overflowing with questions, but I found answers to only a few of them. I believe that many among you find little satisfaction in the answers that have come down from us from the faraway past, and I believe that you will yet find answers that eluded me.
More than 1,000 years ago, the twins came to our world. They brought us knowledge after true death. Each of us shall face divine judgment and retribution. And the fate of each of us is in the hereafter. Depends on the righteousness of our worldly lives. You are students of the seminary. You are now studying the teachings of Isacius, the foundations of our faith. This student of the Elder Twin lovingly assembled all their words, all their guidance, and brought it to us who live in the presence. But how true is it that the lots, the bonds that hold our present society together, were indeed established by the gods? There are whispers from the teachers' seats. They are not happy with these words, but none of them sees fit to interrupt the patriarch. Apart from the written works of Isacius, there is no other proof that the twins established the lots, and told all people to follow them. While they were present in this world, neither the elder nor the younger ever mentioned separating people into 3 estates. The twins only told us of the judgment we shall face in the hereafter, and not of the laws by which they will judge us. That being said, I will ask you a question. The very questions my brethren fear so much. Is there not a chance Isacius was in error? For no mortal man is free of error. And is there not a chance we all are in error by repeating his words? Instead, would it not be more sensible for everyone to interpret the teachings of the twins individually? Perhaps the solution in the teachings of Isacius was right for Isacius himself, and not for all of us. The teacher's displeasure grows louder and louder with Luke's every word. Finally, Father Jeremiah grows indignant enough to interrupt the lecture.
This profane speech must end. How can a man of your rank be so imprudent and irresponsible as to confuse young people with such ungodly heresy? You will find that no soul in this very hall will ever doubt the truth as it is written in the sacred books.
To this patriarch, Luke smiles again. I am a mortal man like Saint Isacius, so I may be in error as well. If this is indeed so, and no student of the seminary shares my concern enough to dedicate a paper to the questions I have asked, then I will curtail my dangerous speech so as to not confuse these bright young souls. But if perchance you are the ones in error, if one of these bright young souls does in fact share my concerns, then my lectures on my outlook on Isacius and his writings will continue. The patriarch leaves for a time. The teachers converse in low voices. Then Father Jeremiah casts a watchful eye over the students and rises.
It is natural for young people such as you to face the eternal truths with doubt, and the words you have heard may have sown themselves among those youthful doubts. But listen to what I am about to say. There is no place for such impiety in the life of a true priest. Heed my words, all of you, and consider the danger well before you allow such dangerous thoughts into the temple of your mind. There can be no doubt that the Patriarch of Archnia could never call the true faith into question. However, youths such as you who are only beginning their service to the twins may easily be led astray by such ideas. So be mindful of your thoughts and doubts, and weed out any impiety, for the path of heresy can lead only to the eternal suffering.
You return to the monastic cell in which you live. The books of Isacius are right there on the shelf. You open the second book and run over the words about the lots. These words are the truth of truths. You learned them by heart when you were very young. How could anyone ever doubt them? Yet you cannot deny that there is at least one truth in Patriarch Luke's words, and this truth is gnawing at your mind. Isacius was indeed man. And as a mortal, he could have been in error. He could have gotten it all wrong. These thoughts fill you with doubt. A choice! Aha! 1. Reject the doubt and strengthen your belief. 2. Support the Patriarch Luke. 3. Seek comfort in prayer. So technically number 2 or number 3 would be our viable options here based on our character development. Based on the way our character has moved and the decisions we have made in the past leading to now, number 2 or number 3 would be the option. All up, oh my god. Oh lord. Never doubt, we are full of doubt.
It's tied, isn't it? I see that Keck W. I know what that fucking means. I know what that Keck W means. Follow that one guy. One vote from tied. Okay. Fantastic. Just waiting for TZ. Alright, let's see what it is. There's only one. Wait, what? There was only one vote. There was only one vote. What the fuck? Okay. Well. Technically 2. Silver Shield wants number 2. Okay. Oh, never mind. I see the rest of it. There were 4 votes. Okay. One wasn't an option. I said that we gotta have some consistency to the narrative. Oh, you voted for 3. Yeah, there was a 3 option in there. You voted for 3. I misread the poll. One wasn't even supposed to be an option. We have to have some consistency in the narrative or the story gets weird. We did all the votes anyway. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I'm calling an audible on this one. We have a tie between 2 and 3. As of right now. We will note it in the big book of grudges. Those who voted for 1, you're written down. We will rectify that someday in blood, probably in the form of a duel, 10 paces in fire. But for now, it's time we see the error of our ways and strengthen our beliefs. Oh, God. We don't have a reason. If there was a viable reason for switching our views based off of what we've seen, we would go with it. It would be an option. But we haven't had a viable experience to change our views so far, as of right now. If there were a viable reason, it would be on the board. But as of yet, there is not. Duel. Okay. Is that how it works now? Oh. No. It works differently now. There we go. The Silver Shield has won the duel. Alright. It has been paid for in blood now. Alright, so alright, let me take a tally here. What do we got? We've got 2 for 3. I think we're tied. I think we're still tied. What is it with you guys and ties? It's amazing. Alright. Going to the coin. Dice, whatever the hell this thing is. Square coin. It's an odd, so that's tails. Number 3 will take it. Seek comfort in prayer. We make no committal on this just yet. You seek solace in unity, with the will, the law, and the love of the twins. What proof do you need? The feud between Patriarch Luke and the seminary teachers makes you think. Why do these old men have to argue over the interpretation of words written by a mortal man, or mortal men? The most important thing here is the will of the gods, but it is being obscured behind a battle over dogma. Once your lessons are done for the day, you head for the temple. Inside you raise your head, look at the statues of the twins, the elder with the lash, the younger with the sword. They look at you almost as if they are curious to see what you will do. Oh. You clasp your hands and whisper a prayer. It is part prayer, part question. What is their will? What did the twins truly intend to tell the people? How are we supposed to live? Your whispered words scatter among the tall pillars and stretch out across the temple like a web waiting to catch an answer. Even the flickering candlelight seems to dance to the rhythm of your prayer. And then, you sense an unfamiliar feeling of comforting warmth. It is pulsing on your chest from the place where a priest's encircled cross would be. You do not notice when your prayer changes. It is no longer a question. It is now an expression of joy, a hymn to the twins, to their will and law and love, and to the lots and the wisdom they have brought into this world. The prayer ends, but the warmth in your chest remains. With that warmth comes understanding. Everything you are doing here is for a reason, and it is right. The twins are with you, they are guiding you, and when you speak in a temple one day, you will speak the will of the twins, and you will bring forth their gift to all existence. Doubt plagues you no longer. Okay, we have capped out on willpower again. And willpower's going up strong. That was vague. That was very vague. Okay. That does kind of line up with our second death choice, though. We ourselves are our path to, whatever the hell it was. At this point, you get the idea that the neutral options awfully simply raise your willpower. Yes. Yep. The trial of the 50. Uh-oh. Winter has arrived. You have lived another year in the capital. Eterna has been shaken by what is now known as the trial of the 50. 50 people stand trial at once, all prominent members of several political circles. They are accused of treason and conspiracy against the crown. The accused spoke in favor of reducing the power of the nobles and granting more rights to the common estate. There was no mention of rebellion, yet those words alone were enough to indict them. Every session of the trial is open to the public. It is a show of power, made to discourage people from forming such circles ever again. You attend one of these sessions. The 50 face their verdict: forced labor in the mines of Magra and Illyria for regular members, and true death for their leaders, 6 men and 1 woman. Their public execution takes place in the central square of Eterna. You remember the woman. Her name was Annie Sirin. She made a speech before her execution. A young woman, not too tall, her face almost plain, with long bangs over her eyes. She looks calm even at this moment. You cannot believe she is about to leave this world forever. Annie Sirin takes a look around before she speaks. Her voice is quiet, but you are close enough to hear every single word. She says she is happy to give her lives, fighting for the rights of the people. Her cause will never die, Annie claims. Others like her will continue their work in hiding, for their cause is right and just. She is dragged away to the others. They put a sack over her head and tighten a noose around her neck. A hand yanks on the lever, and the 7 dangle in the air. Their feet tremble at first, then grow still. There are gasps and cries of discontent in the crowd. Oh, the struggle for power shifts once again. It shifts. It shifts in the direction of the overseers now. Order has... Order's back up. We're just up and down with all this. The Black Book. Your studies at the seminary continue. You assist with the preparations for church holidays and study the accounts of the twins' lives in the sacred scriptures. The seminary sends some of its students on a pilgrimage to the holy sites of the Empire to follow in the footsteps of one of the twins. A large group of these pilgrims return to the seminary several weeks after your studies begin. Among the students in this group is a young woman who looks familiar. She holds her head high as her brown eyes, filled with wisdom and strength, study you attentively. She approaches you first. It's Jean. You met in the past by the Silver Tree in Anazot. Jean was but an acolyte at the temple by the tree at the time, but now she is an Eternal like you, almost ready to complete her studies. I remember you. I'm glad you're here. So you found your way to the priestly lawn after all. It's nice to see a familiar face from your former life. You start spending more time with Jean, praying and reading the sacred scriptures together. Don't get attached to this character, chat. This one's not going to work out. Most of the time you discuss theology, but the more you learn about each other, the more you start discussing your lives before the seminary. You tell her how Mother prepared you to serve the twins ever since you were a child, from daily prayers to following your lot and everything. As for me, I don't know who my parents are. I grew up in the orphanage by the temple. Studying at the seminary has been my goal since as long as I can remember. The priests were kind to me, and now it is my sacred duty to serve the twins. With the first term exams now behind you, you are allowed to visit the antiquarium, a special storage chamber for sacred relics and artifacts that harken back to the history of the faith. You invite Jean to go there with you. The inside of the antiquarium is quiet. The items you see beyond the glass panes and on the shelves are nothing short of amazing. One thick, ragged tome is an original work inked by Asatius. You see old images of the twins' likenesses faded with time. You behold the lash used in the very first sacraments for the lowborn lot. The relics made of silver, the twins' blessed metal, are kept in a separate chamber. You take some time poring over these handcrafted sacred symbols. The shelves on the opposite wall are covered with silver collars, large and small. They're so elegant. The things we make are much simpler nowadays. Always cast from silver, not forged by hand. Look, those old collars even had names stamped into the silver. Another wall is covered with thin silver slabs, prayers to the twins etched into the metal. After taking the priest's sacrament, any priest may use such a silver slab to call the gods' power down upon their foes and work wonders, even outside the temple grounds. Okay. Do you think these might be copies? Silver slabs disappear when they are used, don't they? Just imagine the temptation working wonders anywhere, just like that. There is one more chamber at the farthest end of the antiquarium, with only one relic within, the only room here that is guarded. Your voices trail off when Jean and you feel the eyes of the chamber guard upon you. He bears a scroll with a silver seal on his cassock. Inquisitor. What the Inquisitor is guarding is a black book, its pages blackened, seemingly by fire. The book lies inside a spacious cage forged of time-faded silver. You are not allowed to approach it, the Inquisitor says. What is it, you ask? The Inquisitor sighs and glances over the silver cage with worry and scorn. This is the most dangerous and vile of all the relics in the land, he says. It is a monument to the Dark Ages, when Archneans used to fight one another for power. A time when one of the great Archnean dynasties defied the twins, chosen Tempests. Looks like it's about to happen again. The Archnean who owned this book was Char Milanitis. Ah, yes, the rebellion, okay. Driven by helpless rage, he scorched the land of Magra and ravaged the Imperial army with a terrible curse. But the twins' power stripped him of his dark sorcery, and the Holy Order brought him down. The book within this cage contains his sinister spells. What the Inquisitor says seems unbelievable. The book you have read says that all of Milanitis' relics were destroyed. He explains, however. Apparently the book was utterly impossible to immolate. Even with the gods' divine aid, the countless raging pyres it was subjected to could only blacken the pages with ash, but not destroy them. The dark magic remains within the book, preserving its blasphemous sorcery. But the book alone was not enough. The rebellious Duke turned his very land into a weapon by destroying it. The Holy Order, the Swords of the Twins, surrounded Milanitis' forces along with the Imperial army. The victories were numerous, for true faith guided them towards the city of Enazant. With no other way to prolong the war and nourish his magical powers, the rebellious Duke squeezed all life from the land of Magra and transformed it into dark sorcery. And so the province of Magra, ruled by Char Milanitis, became an infertile desert during that war. The people of Milanitis began dying from sickness and famine, and many fled to the neighboring lands. Yet this evil act did little to stop the twins' true believers. By the prayer of the priests, the gods took away the dark magic of Char Milanitis, dispelled the accursed sorcery he had wrought. The Holy Order dealt swiftly with the remnants of Milanitis' army, while the Inquisition captured all the mages and witches hiding in Enazat. Char Milanitis himself was executed as an oathbreaker, possessed by heresy who had destroyed the fertile lands of Magra and starved thousands of his subjects to death. Be wary of magic, for magic is an ungodly power that distorts the plagues and all it touches, and so must be eradicated, the Inquisitor concludes. These words seem to affect Jean deeply. She turns pale and walks out of the room, containing the encaged book. You thank the priest for his story and follow her. You find the poor girl sitting on a bench in the park by the temple, her face hidden in her arms. You lightly tap her on the shoulder and ask what is troubling her. When I came to Eterna, I wasn't alone, you know. I had a friend, almost a sister. Her name is Alice. I had one goal here, to serve the twins, but she wanted to be an actress. I argued against it. I told her that acting was in defiance of her lot, but Alice wouldn't listen. She's performing in taverns now and in markets on holidays. I went to one of her performances once, just the other day, in fact. And I saw her eyes glowing yellow. Every time her eyes flashed, the people would applaud her. She's not just defying the lot, she's using magic. Alice is practicing the dark arts, confounding people's minds with sorcery. I was far enough away her spells didn't reach me. I want to, but I can't tell the Inquisition about her. Alice is my only real friend in the world, and she's a witch. I don't know what to do. Jean's shoulders tremble with anxiety. Her brown eyes are red with tears, as she looks at you, hoping for guidance that will save her from error. What do you tell Jean? We're not acquainted, so we can't guide her. Tell no one about Alis or inform the Inquisition. 1 or 2, chat. We've helped a witch before, but we've also cast a witch down, so... Our character is more of a maybe, maybe not on this one, so... It's open-ended. If we have no strong opinions... There will be no more polls. The polls are cast down. You've abused the polls. We have a 1. Tell no one. We have 2 1s. Tell no one. We have a 2. From the Inquisition. So far, 1s are taking it. It's harmless. True. We have another 2. We have a tie. Even without a pull, we have a tie. Save her soul and form the Inquisition. So we have 2s. We have a tie again. We have a tiebreaker. I'm getting that dice ready. It'll make the decision if need be. Okay. Is the stream dying? Hold on. Nope. That's an old death. 1 second. Let me recorrect the error of my ways. Okay. Alright. We have another one. Okay, so consult the die. No need. We have a tie break. We tell no one about the witch. Okay. The twins are law, and yet the twins are love as well. It would be best to give Jean's friend a chance to reconcile with the twins on her own. True. Okay.
Chad, I think this makes us a heretic. We're going to the warp.
You look away from Jean and ask her a question. Does she feel any evil in Alis's heart? Would she ever use that power to harm others? Jean shakes her head. No, Alis would never do that. But what will she face in the hereafter? How will she be judged? If this is true, you say, then there is no need for the Inquisition. Why do you say that? Because your friend is no Char Milanitis, you say. She is not killing the land. She is not defying the gods' chosen order. She is not starving thousands. And she will never harm others.
Warp is the best place to be, Resk, what the fuck?
I agree. You know, our great father awaits us. If Alis remains free, she will have a choice to willingly reject her accursed power and accept a lot she was dealt. But if the Inquisition finds her, she will be stripped of her lot and turned into a limp mockery of human bound in a silver collar. She will never find her way to the twins in the House of Humility.
How dare you say such a thing? This is heresy. The twins abhor all magic.
The twins gave people the lots, you say, and they gave them the will to live their lives. The younger shall meet us all in the hereafter, and every decision shall be judged. The mages have their own burden to bear, their own trial to overcome, and that trial is their power. They must overcome it, or fail and face punishment at the foot of the pillar.
What if she grasses us up?
No, it's fine. She's too naive. Jean leaps to her feet, anger burning in her tearful eyes.
And what if the Inquisition finds her? They'll burn her at the stake, and then what?
Before that happens, Jean should talk to her friend and explain her situation, you say. Jean must take care of her and teach her how to hide her power. Best way for a witch to stay alive would be to flee Eterna and join a traveling troupe. Jean thanks you. Her voice rings with calm confidence now. She sees that firm faith does not mean zealous dogmatism. You realize. She has had to break the law for the sake of love. The twins are law, yet the twins are also love.
Steadfast in faith. Cool, I think.
Faith grew stronger, and so did her determination to cleanse the...
Oh, fuck. I did not go the direction I was anticipating, Chet. Wait, how
Did we not guide her away from the old dogma? I guess maybe this is a default status she already has, and we left it unchanged. Weird.
And we die a proud heretic with melting skin, true? Are the twins Shrek? I don't know, maybe.
Joined a troop. Well, she's not dead, so there's that. Okay. What does that mean? Okay, she joined a troop. That's what that means. Youthful actress and singer known as the Golden Voice, she quickly became famous in every inn in Eterna for her irresistibly enchanting looks. She came to the capital along with Jean, who used to be an acolyte at the Temple of the Silver Tree. Okay. Our scheming has increased. We're a schemer. Chat, there were two very different outcomes for that situation. If Jean had told the Inquisition, it would have been to the You save the enigmatic singer known as the Golden Voice for an untimely death. Ooh, she could be like when we rise up with a new faith and become a prophet, she could be the voice of the prophet. She's got an effect, you know. She's good at wording. She has words and they're effective and people listen. I think they call them like charisma, but in her case they're calling it witchcraft. So this works. We're setting up a future here. All the little pieces are falling into place. She's a bard, they die. Bards never die. They're the only one in the party who gets it out alive. The Feast of the Air. The capital is preparing for a great celebration. Coming of age of Jerian Tempest, heir to the throne. Ribbons and flags flutter in the wind. The streets are scrubbed clean. The scent of flowers fills the air. You too set some time aside to join the celebration. It is not often that you can see the ruling family of the Empire firsthand. Bards never die, they bravely run away. Exactly. Like she just did. The celebration day comes, and Eterna is abuzz. A festive procession starts on the streets. Students from the college and cadets from the military academy march in front, lined up in columns, and other citizens follow suit. You join the parade around the tail of the procession. Before long, it reaches the square in front of the Emperor's palace. The ruling dynasty of Tempests observes the parade from the palace balcony. They are joined by the Empire's highest dignitaries and province overseers. For the first time in your life, you see Emperor Uther II with your own eyes. There, high up above. The columns of college students and academy cadets come to a halt at the balcony and salute the Emperor with their mottos. The Emperor raises his hand in a gesture of benevolent greeting. Then his voice echoes across the square. You can hear him easily, even from so far away. I accept your gratitude, my loyal subjects. Take pride as you wield your knowledge and valor in service to the Empire. All who are worthy will be ennobled by the mantle. By my grace. The nobles-to-be cheer the Emperor's words, but then Archduke Monrogue steps onto the balcony, and their jubilation gives way to murmurs of discontent. Everyone here remembers all too well how the ruler of Monia tried to shut down the college by force. Still, the Archduke is the de facto leader of the Archnean gentry. He is a force to be reckoned with even for the Emperor. Aegirius Monrogue.
Hail your emperor, common folk. Be forever obedient and grateful for the good graces you do not deserve by birth.
But then everyone grows silent. A young, slender Archnean with a shy smile comes forth. There are whispers in the crowd. That's Prince Jerian, heir to the throne. Student of Cornelius. Promise and the hope of the common estate. To the left of Jerian is his younger brother, Flavius. 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 Damn it. The left of Jerian is his younger brother, Flatulence. He is baffled at the sight of the parade below, too young to process what he is seeing.
May the twins be kind to you, my future subjects. I promise to repay you in kind and help you prosper in your loyal service to the Empire.
Exalted by these words, the nobles-to-be roar as one.
All hail Prince Jerian!
Another figure steps into view next to the heir. He is an Archnean, elegantly dressed, and his mantle bears the Tempest colors. He raises his arms, about to make a speech. Nice sequel of the original Uther, yeah. Gaius Tempest.
Long live Prince Jerian, student of the college, cadets of the academy. Time and again you have proven yourself to the Empire by word and deed. Today is the day of great celebration, and in honor of Prince Jerian You must ask the Emperor to guarantee favor...
The first half of that sentence threw me off. Hold on. Find center.
Today is a day of great celebration, and in honor of Prince Jerian, you must ask the Emperor to guarantee forever the right of distinguished common folk to be ennobled by the mantle. So ask now.
The cadets and students freeze in hesitation. They exchange glances, unsure whether to follow the words of the Emperor's own brother. On the balcony high above, Prince Jerian also remains still, listening to every reaction from the crowd. Archduke Monroe briskly steps into view once more. He takes several seconds to observe the crowd before he speaks.
Imperial subjects. What the Emperor's brother wishes to say is that you must always remember that you owe your status to the Tempest dynasty. The Emperor accepts your gratitude and sends you off with his blessing. You may leave now.
Emotion and murmurs spread over the crowd as some of the nobles to be refuse to follow Archduke Monroe's orders. There are shouts heard here and there.
The law! We ask for the law!
The academy officers and teachers of the college urge them to fall in line and resume the parade. The tension is rising. The crowd slowly grows enraged and unruly. An Imperial Guard cavalry regiment emerges from the palace. They start slowly advancing on the crowd, hands on their swords pushing people out of the square. The commoners are now running left and right. You, too, have to move away. This quickly quells the commotion in the square. The cavalry withdraws. Emperor Uther, too, appears on the balcony again. Archduke Monroe stands by his side. The square falls silent at the sight of the sovereign.
My subjects, I can see how overjoyed you are for Prince Jerian, but your show of reverence and gratitude was clear enough. Now obey my will. Continue the parade and sing the praises of the Tempest dynasty that has given you so much.
The square obediently lines up in columns once again. The bout of defiance is in the past now, and they resume the festive parade through the city streets. Glory to the Emperor! Glory to Emperor Uther! Glory to Prince Jerian! Oh boy. Ah, jeez. It's going in the wrong... It's going in that direction, huh? Okay. We've had almost no opportunity to affect that, so... That's completely just story-driven at this point. Letters from home. There are days when you receive letters from home. Father's writing is very reserved. He mostly discusses events and work in Magra. Writes very little about the family.
It makes me proud that I have managed to teach Stefan how to handle our affairs at home. Your older brother behaves impeccably at the society balls and receptions that we host. He has already made several crucial acquaintances. But Gloria has a different opinion of Stefan. She thinks your older brother is taking more and more after grandfather.
Glory, Stefan is a lot like grandfather. It's in his manners, his posture, his voice. He even dresses like him. He used to be aloof around me, and we barely talked in the past, but now he always blames me and tears me apart. I can't take it anymore. He walks all over me, all the time, and treats me like a housemate. Mother writes to you. From her letters, you learn that Nathan just barely managed to graduate from school. Just barely. Ugh.
It makes me sad to admit Nathan has none of the talents you have. The other day he told me he won't even try to study in the capital. He says he won't be able to pass the exams. I find solace only in the nights Nathan and I spend together reading the scriptures and our walks to the church by the silver tree. He accompanies me every time.
Your sister and younger brother write about Mother too, and they say the same thing about her health. She now spends more time locked away in her chambers to brood. Gloria does her best to accompany Mother when she leaves home, and Nathan's letters mention her steps echoing in the halls in the middle of the night. There is one more thing Nathan mentions in his letters. Stefan and Gloria have been fighting very often these days. Stefan always tries to get under Gloria's skin, and then she answers him in kind. Then Stefan calls her a lowly commoner to make her shut up. You always tremble in excitement each time you see a new letter with the seal of your home province. Your fate is still bound tightly to your families, no matter the distance between you. Stefan is, just kind of shifting away because we're not a noble. If we were a noble, he'd probably be going up. But, since we... Damn, he's getting uglier and more aggressive looking in the eyes. Gloria does not like us either. Again, we went clergy, so that's slowly going to shift in the other direction. What? I guess it's because we're not at home, so everything's going down. Never mind. Just kidding. The months fly by now. Every day the seminary is filled with study and work. You are being trained to live by your new lot. There can be no rest from service to the twins. No rest at all. You are well acquainted with your instructors now, and with each passing day you come closer to being their equal. Every month you and your class learn more about the sacred scriptures, and the life and routine of the church, and how to guide others to live by their lots. You'll learn about the founding of the church and the 3 councils, at which the twins' first disciples first established the dogmas of the faith. When the first council met, they pronounced that the twins' faith would be the only faith throughout the empire for all eternity, and that the Tempest dynasty would rule the land by their will, for they were chosen by the gods. The first council also condemned all magic within the empire other than the wonders sent down by the twins themselves. The Inquisition was created to enforce the order established by the twins and cleanse all heresy and sorcery from hearts, minds, and bodies. Mages and witches were offered 2 choices. They could either accept the collar and reject their powers, or perish in the ritual of purifying flame. When the Second Council met, the Holy Order was founded. It became the mighty sword wielded by the Church against its enemies. Nobles who sought to serve the twins with their arms formed the ranks of the Order. When the Third Council met, the 2 books of Prophet Isaicius and the accounts of the twins' own lives were deemed the sacred scriptures of the faith. It was then pronounced that no more councils would ever be convened, so that the foundations of the faith could never be warped. The main dogmas of the faith are the same for everyone. However, the seminary students prepare for the lot that lies ahead in different ways. Some of them study the scriptures, spending hours in the temple every day, attending every sermon and mastering the art of preaching. Gina often appears among their ranks. These preachers ardently follow the age-old traditions and dogmas, doing everything just as it was done hundreds of years ago. Others, you call them supplicants, rarely attend sermons, but spend plenty of time in prayer rooms and temples and by the altars. You know these supplicants are seeking the twins within themselves and looking for them in the signs and revelations they experience. I guess technically our character would be a supplicant. There are still others who are never seen during sermons or in prayer rooms. You only see them during lessons, and when the lesson is over, they cross the gate of the seminary and disappear into the city, often waking you up when they return in the small hours of the night. The secret society, you call these students, who are clearly united by a shared mystery. There are only a handful of them when they meet. They sit at the same table and speak in hushed whispers, falling silent if anyone tries to approach them. They're probably new faith. You have not joined any of these groups yourself. For now, you spend your days and nights in study. Today is yet another ordinary day at the seminary. You sit in the common room, reading a book, and Jean approaches you. Why are you always alone with your books? You should learn from your elders and attend sermons if you hope to walk the path of a priest. We can go to the next sermon together if you wish. You promise to consider her offer. As priests, you will be bound by the lot to the will of the twins, not the will of your instructors. Still, the will of the twins is a mystery, and the revelations are ever involute. Coming to think of it, learning from senior priests and studying their habits might be the best way to understand your lot. Lost in thought, you look at the enigmatic handful of students sitting in the faraway corner of the hall. What mystery are they hiding? What path have they chosen to walk? You need to decide what to do next. One way or another, Jean is right. Your books will never do your preaching for you. Okay, so we have 3 options. Join the preachers. Search for the divine within yourself, so we can either be a preacher, a supplicant, or we can try and infiltrate the secret society. 1, 2, or 3. 2. Okay, so, one thing I will comment. We are currently full on willpower, and number 2 is the willpower choice. Guarantee it. I don't know about number 1. No idea what that's going to do. And I have no idea about number 3, but I'm almost positive number 2 is the willpower choice. We will still do it if it is voted for, because I could also be wrong. But I'm just saying that out loud. Just offering some direction. Looks like it's so far a strong 3. Okay, 3 it is. Okay, so this will cost us willpower. You grow closer to the enigmatic group of seminary students, hoping to learn their secrets. So this is probably going to be one of two things. This is either going to be their inquisitors in training, or their new faith. So it makes reasonable sense, because we're more in tune with the new faith. So if that's what it is, okay, good. But we're also a theologist who's got pretty high points in valor at this point, and nobility. So if it is Inquisition, that's not necessarily a terrible direction to go in either. But that's going to create a weird narrative. But one we might be able to work with in the future. So that could be interesting too. This one's just the standard theology approach, I think. But I could be wrong. I have no idea. Let's find out, I guess. 3 took it strongly. Sermons and prayers are something you already know. Right now, you would rather learn something else, something new. For several days in a row, you attempt to take a seat near the enigmatic seminary students. They eye you with suspicion and avoid you every time. When you realize that this approach is not working, you try to ingratiate yourself with the member who seems most eager to talk. You inquire about their secret meetings and promise to keep what he tells you a secret. He tells you nothing, but he does say that he will consult with the other members of the society. Several days later, one of the enigmatic students nonchalantly invites you to take a walk with him and the others. You nod. You were strongly warned that everything that happens there must remain a secret. You swear not to tell a soul. It's secretly a puppy smuggling ring. They hug puppies all day. You are going to a sermon. One of the students whispers in your ear as you walk the streets of Eterna. But he ends with a crafty smile. You have never heard a sermon like this before. It will turn vision of the twins upside down. In the end, curiosity gets the better of your doubts. Well, definitely not an Inquisition. The students lead you to the basement of a lavishly decorated house. There are at least 50 more people in the basement hall, many of them dressed in the latest fashion. You can even see college students among the crowd. They are waiting for someone. Finally, a stout man with a bald spot walks up to the pulpit. He is wearing a cassock, but you notice that he is not wearing the twins' cross. He seems good-natured enough. His plain face is lit up by a serene smile. Father Mark.
Greetings, brethren. It warms my heart to see new faces here. My name is Father Mark. I will say to you, reject the twins. Cast them aside.
Oh. For a moment, there is silence. You look at Brother Mark in terror, then at the seminary students who brought you here, then back at him again. The other students are staring at the false priest with what can only be described as adoration.
The truth is that there is no difference between eternal bliss and eternal suffering.
Oh, they're masochists. Okay.
We will be deprived of our will in the hereafter, deprived of our very selves, immersed within the will of the twins.
Okay.
There will be no we in the hereafter. Our existence and our freedom exist only in the here and now. We exist only so long as we live in this world.
So they're nihilists. They're masochistic nihilists. They are secretly feeding meth to kittens who are now a monster. You might not be far off. They're new age hippies. Who knows what they're doing?
If we resign ourselves to the lots, if we resign our lives to the will of the twins, we will willingly deprive ourselves of our one chance to live, even the short time we are allotted. We can only be our true selves and live our lives to the fullest if we reject the gods and cast away the burden of lots. Life is short, and so we must strive to do everything before it ends. There will be no desires after the gods judge us, nor will there be any way to fulfill them in the hereafter, for we will have no will of our own. Our will exists only now, so focus on worldly life, my brethren. Reject the divine law, and write your own law here in this world, and then roll around naked in grapes, because it feels so good on the skin.
He definitely dropped some Molly before he gave his speech. Father Mark's speech is long, very, very long, and his mellow expression never changes. This man is a heretic, yet everybody admires him so much. After some time, you start thinking there might be a kernel of truth in what he's saying. Well, when he got to the grapes and the skin thing, it's hard to argue with that. Every person lives their life bound, by their lot, by tradition, by duty, by honor. Your entire life is predetermined, whether you like it or not. And an opportunity to cast off this burden and seek a different way feels fascinating, even thrilling. Father Mark is a splendid orator. His words are simple and powerful, and none of them ever fall on deaf ears. You cannot help but feel respect for this man, even if you cannot accept what he is saying. You keep thinking about his outlandish sermon after you return to the seminary. The sermon was like a breath of fresh air. It gives you a glimpse of the very freedom Father Mark was talking about. You broke the rules. You strayed from the choices they wanted you to make. You sought other answers. You sought something unlike the common knowledge truths. And you liked it. Tonight you felt alive. You felt emotion. You were outraged. You were enchanted. You were part of this world, and the world gave you the strength to keep on living. Diplomacy up. Scheming up. Willpower down. Ooh, okay. Damn, we're playing to a very specific set of skills right now, chat. We have gained like 3 points of scheming already. Fair enough. Oh no, only 1 year left after this one. We're almost done with it. Young adulthood. The Overseer of Magra. 2 major events take place while you are busy living your life. Firstly, Cornelius Tempest is no longer the Great Chancellor of the Empire. He has been ousted and sent back to his province. Oh no. His replacement is the Archduke of Monia, Aegirius Monrogue. The same Monrogue who sought to shut down the college. The most powerful lord in the realm finally convinced the Emperor that his brother Cornelius was giving too much freedom to the lowborn. Oh no. Now the policies of the Empire will be reversed. Many fear that the new Great Chancellor will destroy the Imperial Code of Laws and other achievements of Cornelius. There are cautious rumors among the people. They say the new Great Chancellor is going to revoke the right of the common lot to be ennobled by the mantle. Secondly, Magra, your homeland, now has a new overseer, Gaius Tempest, the other brother of Emperor Uther II. Usually, the overseer of a province is its archduke. After all, it makes sense for the province's most powerful noble to impart the emperor's will to the locals. Yet now this age-old tradition has been broken, and to no one's surprise, Archduke Tarquinius Melanitis is absolutely furious. Gaius Tempest used to be the main supporter of his brother, former Great Chancellor Cornelius Tempest. The nobles at the Emperor's court say this is a stratagem by the Archnean gentry who want Gaius removed from court affairs along with Cornelius. Either way, Gaius Tempest and Tarquinius Melanitis will be at each other's throats over the province. This does not bode well for their future. Only one thing is clear, Magra, your home province, is about to face great changes. The Overseer of Magra. Power has gone up to 1. The struggle for power continues. Oh damn, that is a hard shift. Okay. Order goes up again. One moment. Alright, just had to check something quick. What about Emperor Biggest Dickus? I feel like he's already come and gone. Alright, a criminal relationship. Spring is in full bloom. The city of Eterna is a sea of flowering trees. The apple trees are particularly prevalent. You see them growing everywhere in the seminary yard alone. How nice it would be to sit here, with a good book, enjoying the apple blossoms and getting lost in important thoughts. But there's no time for that. A recent incident has the entire seminary on edge. One of the senior seminary students has been accused of having a relationship with a witch. Is it me? The Inquisition had been watching the girl for a long time. When the lovers met and the girl put a floral wreath on the student's head, Inquisition spies saw it all. The lovers were immediately arrested. You hear about it from Jean. She looks very anxious when she comes to you to discuss the news. Are you going to watch the trial? They're only allowing priests and seminary students to attend it. We have to be there. It's an important case. We can learn so much from seeing the Holy Tribunal in action. You agree to go with her. After all, the case is highly unusual indeed. Junius Diamond, one of the leaders of the New Faith, has stepped forth to defend the student and the girl. Interesting. You've already met the other leader of the New Faith, Luke, Patriarch of Archnia, but Patriarch Junius holds much more authority. The seminary students speak of him in hushed voices, and only when the instructors are not around. Junius Diamond is more than a patriarch of one of the provinces. He is an Archnean hailing from one of the great dynasties and the leader of the Holy Order, the Empire's finest knights in the service of the Twins Church. The prosecution will be represented by Father Ulrich. He is a powerful inquisitor. and the head warden of the House of Humility, the fortress that collars all mages and subdues their will to the service of the Inquisition. You have heard of him. He is a fierce man who is ardent and merciless in the service to the twins. He's flat as dickus now, yep. Shame. Alright, the day comes. The spacious courtroom is filled with people. All the seats are taken. The judges sit at a long table upon a platform. There are 10 of them, all high-ranking members of the church. To the right of them is a man in a black cassock. His head is shaved, and his back is perfectly straight. This man, Father Ulrich, a true and lawful inquisitor, will represent the prosecution. To the left of the judge's table stands an Archnean. He's wearing a white cassock with a cape of white and gold on his shoulders. The Archnean's blue hands rest on the edge of the table, and his expression is that of perfect calm. This man, Patriarch Junius Diamond, will represent the defense. To the left of him sit the accused, a young man in a seminary uniform, and a young girl who looks like she just came back from the foot of the pillar. They are both bound in chains. Even from your distant seat, you can see that the Inquisitors have shown her no mercy. The girl's face and neck are covered in bruises. There are bloody wounds on her left hand, where her fingernails should be, and her right hand bears a horrible black burn. Loud voices emanate from the stalls even before the trial begins. Some chide Patriarch Junius, while others call out Father Ulrich. There are more and more of these shouts with every passing minute. Soon a judge's gavel can do very little to rein them in. The trial begins. Father Ulrich is the first to speak.
Judges of the Holy Tribunal, you, my brethren, this is an act of sacrilege beyond compare, committed within the walls of our own seminary. This man is a venomous viper nurtured in the church's bosom. He defied all that is forbidden and engaged in acts of hideous lechery, already a malfaction. But worse, yet the object of his lust is an abhorrent, sinful witch.
The young woman in question looks up. You see the color of her eyes, vibrant, radiant emerald green, like the tender grass of spring. You recall a cautionary tale. Such eyes are the mark of a mage who holds sway over wildlife and nature.
This blasphemer deserves nothing less than true death for what he has done. The walls of the church are no place for traitors and licentious filth. We who bring the will of the twins to the world may afford no weakness. As for the witch, put her on a collar and cut off her nose so that her comely appearance may never again lead a righteous man astray.
What's up, Eurydice? How you doing? With that, Father Ulrich takes his seat. The man who rises next is Patriarch Junius. He is tall as a pillar, and you feel an inexplicable power emanating from him. He takes his stand before the judges. Even before he speaks, Jean winces in disgust. To her, an ally of the new faith deserves neither tolerance nor sympathy. He's already drenched in sin, and yet he thinks he can talk justice.
Jean, sit down and shut up.
Junius Diamond begins to speak. That is a fucking Archnean, one way or another. That is how you get your tongue cut out. Orc? May it please the tribunal, the accusation is indeed true. The young man before us is at fault. It was his duty to convince the lady he had befriended to renounce all magic, and yet he encouraged her profane practices. But Father Ulrich's proposal is far too severe. I seek no lesser punishment for the witch. This is a matter for the Inquisition. But the young man need not be executed. His life is the subject of my debate. It was not by force that the young man now stands before us. He sought the twins entirely of his own volition. And so I plead with the Holy Tribunal to spare his life. May he instead take the vows and habit of a monk, and a vow of silence, and be subject to corporal punishment, for the ways of the Church are stern, but fair. This young man need not lose his life in order to redeem himself. An accusation flies from the crowd. Sir Junius favors mages and takes them under his wing in his province. Look at the man who dares doubt our lots and reject the Orthodox faith. We won't let your kind gain ground in Eterna. This in turn sparks a different cry. Another voice accuses Ulrich of being drunk with the power he has acquired by enslaving those who wield magic. Patriarch Junius attempts to pacify his followers as accusations from the Inquisitor's side keep coming. Father Ulrich marks each condemnation of Junius and the new faith with an agreeable nod, his mouth a crooked smile. The crowd begins to move. Those who side with the Inquisition start pushing against the guards to exact their own brand of justice. Oh. Junius's followers do not stand still either. They rise and form a circle around the Patriarch, as well as the man and woman on trial. Accusations fly, and the air above the crowd grows hot with boiling rage. People are pushing and shoving. You hear screams of panic among the cries of outrage. You and Jean find a temporary refuge on the podium rising above the human sea. The courtroom is becoming dangerous. You must attempt to escape now, or risk being trampled. There is still time. Time for either Patriarch Junius or Father Ulrich to say something, to calm the crowd, remind them why they are here. But both froze in confusion, unable to rein in the coalescing madness. Perhaps you could make your voice heard from atop the crowd. Or would it be more sensible to escape the chaos of this courtroom? We can do nothing here. We do not have enough theology or eloquence, so our only option is flee the courtroom. Oh, God. Alright, I gotta fix that on the bot. Okay. You take Jean by the hand and start pushing and shoving through the crowd to escape the courtroom.
That doesn't sound good.
You take Jean by the hand and leave the courtroom before the conflict reaches its culmination. You push and shove through screaming inquisitors, frenzied seminary students, and red-faced followers of the new faith. As you leave, the hall behind you erupts into screams of rage and pain and fighting. You ask Jean if she wants to stay here and see the end of the trial. No, I've seen enough. This is too much like what happened to Alice. I don't want to see what happens next. Let's get out of here at once. You make your way back to the seminary court, where the apple trees are in bloom. There are so many white flowers you can barely see the leaves behind them. After the din of the courtroom, the quiet here is deafening. So quiet you can almost hear your own heartbeat. Jean looks up with a quiet sigh and touches the white petals. It feels so strange. It's like we're back in Anazat, beneath the branches of the silver tree. I wish I could feel that calm again. Don't you agree? Carefully, Jean's hand touches yours and squeezes your fingers gently. Then, suddenly, she embraces you. You gasp with surprise and place your hands on her waist. Is this a chaste hug, or perhaps... Her breath feels hot on your neck.
There's children in the crowd. TZ, look away. If you're out there, look away, TZ. Plug your ears.
Her eyelashes flutter against your skin as her arms glide up and down your back.
Sup, Sid's back.
You are not yet priests. You are not yet one with the clergy. You are not yet bound by the new lot. And for now, anything is possible. She smells so good, a lock of hair tumbles out from under her headcloth. Gently touch this lock with your lips. Okay. Hours, minutes, maybe seconds pass like this. Wait. Hours are a pretty big stretch of time. Seconds are not. Okay. And suddenly, Jean moves away and looks at you defiantly, biting her lower lip. You smile in return. She will embrace you once more, will she not? She steps back. You part ways. Jean heads for the prayer room. You walk back to your monastic cell. Still, you look back once more before you leave. Jean is there watching you go. When she catches your eye, she looks away and leaves.
How? What?
This seems like an unusual character development for Jean. She is devoutly devoted to the old faith. Like, hardcore. We did kind of steer her a little bit away from it with the whole thing with the Inquisitors and her friend. But this still seems like a really sharp turn for Jean as a character. Like, just, sure, you know, in the moment of the chaos, you know, exhilarating, every thrill, maybe, but it does feel like a strong departure from her character. At least the character we've seen thus far.
Cheesy. This legendary sex scene.
It's just awkward missionary the entire time. I mean, it's bound to be the fate of something or other. We're indifferent with the lady. We're completely indifferent. Well, we're maxed out on willpower again. You wanted to speak to Jean again, but she disappeared the next day. Some say she was sent somewhere else to study. Strange. Why did she tell you nothing? Why did she not say goodbye? You keep waiting for news from her at first, but as days goes by, your thoughts turn to the upcoming exams and the second sacrament. All the sacred scriptures, holy procedures, and sacred hymns have been memorized long ago. You know the names of every disciple of the elder, the younger, all the patriarchs of the provinces, from the very first to the present day, and most importantly, your faith is strong and your confidence is unshakable. The exams are behind you now. On the day of your second sacrament, you come to the great temple of the twins, already dressed in a priest's cassock. Father Jeremiah holds your belt in one hand. He will conduct your sacrament. His other hand holds a sacred book. You are to kiss it to show your complete submission to the will of the twins. You approach the altar on the commoner's side. The jagged floor hurts as it bites into your bare feet, but there is a hint of pleasure in that pain. You kneel before Father Jeremiah on the lowest of the steps leading to the altar. He speaks the words of your new lot above you.
Thou shalt now carry the will of the twins to the world. Whosoever cometh to thee, thou shalt give him guidance. The twins are love and will and law. Thou shalt bring it to the world. Thy new lot is to interpret the lots and give counsel in faith. Time to be a heretic. Arise, priest.
You kiss the book and stand up, confidence blooming within you. You now know the answers to all questions. You are now a messenger of the true word, the one who carries true understanding. You have the power to guide people toward a righteous path, to help them see the truth, to help them find answers, for the twins will it so. New strength fills you. By the grace of the elder, you may pray to him to heal and cure those who suffer. By the law of the younger, you may pray to him to bind your foes with his wondrous power. When no one is looking, you reach for your back. The mark of the lash is gone. You feel as though you can breathe more easily now. On the morning after, you are to conduct a sacrament for the first time. You walk into a small temple on the outskirts of Eterna. Acolytes are running to and fro, preparing for the ritual while you repeat the words of the lots that you must tell the children. Slowly, the temple fills with people. You stand at the altar now, the sword in one hand and the lash in the other. 3 boys are to receive their sacrament today, a little nobleman and 2 lowborn boys of the same age. The noble boy's parents are nervous and ask you to hurry with the sacrament, and so you begin. With confidence and proper pace, you recite the words of a noble's lot to the little boy kneeling. Then you carefully bring the flat of the sword to his lips, and the boy kisses it. And you thank the twins under your breath. Now it is time for the common children to receive their sacrament. You notice movement in the temple out of the corner of your eye. Someone is standing in the doorway. It is the silhouette of a woman. You recognize her. She looks sterner now, harsher, but the most striking feature about her is her eyes. They are cold yet curious. Something glints on Jean's belt now. It is the silver seal of the Inquisition! We're so fucked. Do continue, priest.
We're gonna die. She's gonna kill us.
The boys stand before you, just like you and Nathan when you were boys. You were just like them at your first sacrament. The elder of the 2 kneels on the jagged floor. He winces slightly but holds back the tears. You recite his new lot for him and strike him twice with the lash. He shudders yet humbly accepts the first suffering of his life. They bring the other boy to you next. He is kicking and squirming, and his face is red with tears. They force him to kneel, and he falls on all fours. The floor draws blood from his hands. Adults' hands hold him still. Adult voices chide him angrily. You say the words of his new lot and strike him once with the lash. The lash cuts through the boy's shirt and soaks it with blood. The boy's cries turn to screams. You raise your head slightly and notice Jean's watchful eye. She is there, waiting. You look back down at the boy. He looks so much like Nathan, just as frightened, just as distraught, just as defenseless. You hesitate, unsure of what to do. The ritual must be finished. By your lot, you must bring forth the will of the twins and perform the sacrament of suffering. But this little boy huddling at your feet is so young, he will no doubt see so much suffering in his life. Perhaps you should show him that the world can be merciful too. Alright, chat. This is one of the last decisions of the evening. We don't have too many left before we reach the end of the chapter. 1 or 2. Have mercy on the child or strike with all of your might. That is a strong decision. With all of your might. Jesus Christ. Can't it just be like a little, just a little strike? Just like a half strike, maybe? You know, play it up the show. All of your might. Damn. Chat, we're about to burn on the pyre. 1 is taking it. 1 is taking it. Alright. Well, I mean, we haven't died in this chapter yet, so, I mean, to keep up with tradition, we should die. It's only fair. 1 in each chapter so far. We have no might. We are weak. Pantsies. Pantsies is... Okay. No fun. Alright, looks like 1 takes it. We will show the child mercy. We're actually quite the brawler. True, we are quite the brawler. We have a 9 in valor, chat. A 9, or 10. We went up, I think. I think we're 10. What are we? That in here? Yeah, we're 10 in valor. It's pretty... God damn it. We're so even-handed here. Now, the only thing we're terrible at is manipulation. Damn. We're very average. We have not particularly excelled, other than talking, I guess. We're a good talker. Alright, anyway. Back to the... Alright, looks like 1 takes it. You tell the child to rise. The sacrament is done. You lower the lash, unable to bring yourself to strike again. Then you lean over the boy and help him to his feet. The temple falls completely silent as you apologize to the boy for hurting him. Perhaps the new faith is right. Perhaps the lots are just an error made by Asatius. You want to believe this as you look into the boy's tearful face. You can feel the parents, the acolytes, and the congregation watching you in confusion. The boy gets to his feet, sniffling. You tell him to go and live by his lot. On the inside, you are overcome by a surge of emotion. There is a tense feeling in your chest as you think of your younger brother. You miss him so much, you cannot wait to go home and embrace your mother. Or get strapped to the pyre, but I guess that accomplishes the same thing. I think we wake up in the same crypt every time, so. The acolytes take the sword and lash away. You turn to face the altar and mutter a quick prayer to the twins for this day. You hear quiet footsteps behind your back. You know they are Jean's. Her gaze burns into your back. You do not turn around. Was that the hot breath? Was that supposed to play a couple of scenes ago? It's extra fiery. Is that... Anyone, is it getting a little warm in here? Is that a fire? You can never show mercy if you were to carry out the will of the twins. That boy was supposed to feel the full burden of his lot. Why did you have mercy on him? Jean takes a deep breath, ready to continue her indignant tirade. The next moment, her speech is cut short by a powerful voice that would make anyone shudder. Oh, no.
Enough, Sister Jean. That is not why we are here.
You hastily turn around and see Inquisitor Ulrich appear from the shadows. He has been watching you perform the sacrament this whole time. Or has he been? It was a question, not a statement. Father Ulrich, I beg you to reconsider. Brother Butterball isn't ready to bear such a duty.
That is not for me to decide.
Jean frowns but falls silent, pursing her lips. Ulrich turns his heavy gaze to you.
It's like 1,000 pounds, man.
For 2 years I have been watching you, Butterball. Now the time has come for you to join us.
What? Ulrich hands you a scroll marked with the silver seal of the Inquisition. Okay. Sure.
Brother Butterball, the church is appointing you an inquisitor. You are to return to your native land and protect our true faith against heresy.
Well, better than the pyre, I guess.
Jean pierces you with an intense stare. There is doubt in her eyes. You bow your head and accept the scroll from Ulrich's hands. Then you solemnly fasten the Inquisitor's insignia to your belt. By the will of the Church and the gods themselves, you are now a servant to the Holy Order of the Inquisition. This is an interesting turn of events. We're an Inquisitor who believes in the new faith, and it is definitely a heretic who helps witches. Did we miss an exit? That's what I'm wondering. It's fine. It's fine. We didn't even study to be an Inquisitor. We're just being given it. Everyone else has to study for it. No. We're just a natural born Inquisitor. We're very inquisitive. We've always asked questions. Since we were a young child. First time we could speak, our first sentence was a question. Henceforth your life belongs to the Order. You shall fight against any apostasy that threatens the Church and her flock. Cast aside your doubts, Inquisitor Brante, and be ready to fulfill your new righteous duty. Prepare yourself to set out for Anazot. A special assignment awaits you there. Sister Jean will accompany you as a fellow Inquisitor. She will tell you everything else you need to know. With that, Ulrich abruptly turns away and leaves the temple. Your answer is not required. The will of the Church is the law, and you must abide by it. You are left alone with Jean. Your sister in faith betrays no emotions. Her words sound sharp and dry. The time has come to bid the capital farewell, Brother Butterball. We are leaving for Anazot tomorrow. With that, Jean leaves you alone in the temple. You turn back to the altar and finish your prayer.
Butterball is too great a Pepega for us.
Well, well, she's indifferent now. My thinking here is that the Inquisitor thing is either mandatory as a reason to get your character back to Anazot, which is possible. The other thing I'm thinking is that it determines so there's 3 stats or 4 stats we could have gained realistically during our time in the seminary school. Obviously there was the ones we got, which were largely, what was it called? What's it called? Largely scheming. We got a lot of scheming points. We got 3 of them during the time in seminary, which is our highest. And our other, we gained a point of eloquence and a point of diplomacy as well. So our main gain was scheming. So it's entirely possible your path out of the capital and back to Anazot depends on which stat you gain the most points in. And we happen to gain the most points in things like scheming, which would definitely favor inquisitorial storyline. Whereas if we had gone harder on theology, we might have been more of a priest when we head back, or, etc. So I think our choices did ultimately lead us to this. Maybe. But hey, we got through a chapter without dying theoretically. We're not going done yet, I guess. Oh, we gained willpower. Fantastic. We're ready for anything. It's always Inquisitor if you become clergy. Okay, so it's always the same one. I disagree with the storyline. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Alright. You received your second sacrament. You are now rightfully ordained as a priest. Diamond stands trial. Oh no, that's not good. Just before you leave the capital, you overhear something unusual on the street. Junius Diamond, Patriarch of Astinia, and one of the leaders of the New Faith will stand trial before a church tribunal. The Order of the Inquisition has accused Patriarch Junius of patronizing blasphemous witches and disseminating heresy. The Holy Tribunal claims that Junius Diamond was scheming to free all witches and sorcerers from the collars that fettered their accursed powers. And what's worse, the Patriarch was also accused of forming the Lotless, a dangerous secret society based on the Imperial capital. Technically all true. Members of this society have been assaulting inquisitors and priests of the church, as well as freeing witches from the cleansing fire and helping them escape the holy law. Now the Patriarch must face the holy tribunal of the Inquisition in Eterna. By all accounts, this is a devastating blow to the new faith, and the end of days for Junius Diamond himself. The Inquisition will make the most of this opportunity to rid the land of this unwelcome Patriarch who dared to shake the foundation of the old faith. But then comes the sudden news of Patriarch Junius's reply to the holy tribunal. It is no less stunning than the accusation. These words are nothing but lies. I will say this to anyone who dares to bring this accusation against me in person, but I want those hypocrites to bear the full weight of their responsibility for this slander against me, my flock, the Diamond Dynasty, and the Holy Order. I agreed to stand trial before the Holy Tribunal, but I will face them on my own land and on my terms. Patriarch Junius has already received strong support from Patriarch Luke and many priests across Archnia. Parishes of the new faith throughout the Empire are now speaking out in support of Junius Diamond. The Church of the Twin Gods is about to be rent in twain. The Inquisition has no choice but to revoke the trial in order to avert the coming schism. Their new official stance is that Patriarch Junius has been wrongfully accused, and the Holy Tribunal will now apply more cautious judgment during any further trials against followers of the new faith. Following the teachings of Patriarch Photis is no longer seen as heresy by the Inquisition. Pagu! The trial of Junius Diamond has been averted, but the divide within the Church is only deepening. The new faith has directly challenged the old faith. Oh. The result is uncertain, depending on who you ask. Some say Junius Diamond will all but plead guilty. Others believe the Patriarch and the alleged rebellion against the Church as well as the Inquisition is nothing but a ruse. There are also people who think the entire situation sounds like one of the secret Chancellery's dirty deeds. One way or another, the Patriarch of Astinia and the co-leader of the New Faith remains at his post. But for how long? And how will the Old Faith and the New Faith clash next? Wait, how did that go in favor of the Old Faith? Wouldn't that have gone in the favor of the New Faith, considering the New Faith successfully stood up to the Old Faith? That seems like a weird, switch, or actually, honestly, yeah, that should have gone up, not down. It's kind of weird, based on what just happened. Interesting. A farewell to the capital. The Regalata and Talarina rivers meet outside the city walls. You have barely left the capital since you came here all those years ago. A breeze is blowing. It was 3 years ago, chat. We've been here for like 3 or 4 years. A breeze is blowing in your face, and the bright noon sun hangs above the shining pillar. Your stay in Eterna has come to an end. You arrived here a boy, full of hopes and aspirations, driven by your family's expectations and a desire to live your life as you saw fit. And now you have to leave. This thought fills you with gentle sadness. Eterna did not become your home, and yet here you realize that you can be a messenger between the will of the twins and the people. You are the hand that shows the way, the interpreter of the gods, the man who guides others to the peak when they depart for the hereafter. You have never felt so close to the twins, but now you carry within you the love and wisdom of the elder, and the law and power of the younger. After your second sacrament, you started seeing the twins' presence in this world everywhere. What will you see back in your hometown, or by the silver tree? You have been chosen to serve the Inquisition. Now you are more than a mere priest. You are a shield of the Church that wards away its enemies and false doctrines. A pain in your chest right under the twins' cross echoes this thought. The schism between the Church and the New Faith began in Anazat, but the city is still your home. Changes are coming, and, as an Inquisitor, you will have to face them. You think of Sister Jean often. She was your only companion during the years of study of the seminary, and now she will teach and assist you in your service to the Inquisition. What is the connection between you? Who will you become for one another? You exhale and close your eyes, feeling the riverside wind blowing into your face. Many things must have changed back home by now. Does Mother still pray to the twins 3 times a day? What about the others? They used to repeat the sacred words after her back then. What about now? Nathan probably follows Mother's example. Every letter he has sent you has been filled with elation over your choice of the priest's lot. Nathan failed to enter the seminary of Anazat. He said he got too nervous, and he wrote that he was ashamed of not being able to follow in your footsteps. But being ashamed of failure is against the commoner's lot, he wrote back. A commoner must humbly accept failure, just as he would accept any other kind of suffering. You should cheer Nathan up by bringing him a souvenir from the capital that will remind him of you, a token of love that says you believe in him. After giving it some thought, you head to the temple for a prayer book. You find the great temple of the twins surrounded by the usual calm and quiet. There are no loud voices coming from the people, no loud cries from the merchants. You approach a small bookstore by the temple grounds and examine the prayer books one by one. You search for one with the proper prayers for everything Nathan needs, for the good of the family, for humility, for meekness, and for following one's lot. A small book finds its way to you. Sturdy leather cover feels good in the palm of your hand. You thumb through the prayer book and nod. Everything you were looking for is here. You leave the capital the morning after in a carriage hired by the Inquisition. Eterna, the city where you spent 4 years, slowly disappears on the horizon. Will you ever see the capital again? You do not know. The prayer book is in your hands. Poor Nathan, yeah. Homecoming. After 4 years in the capital, you return to your home city of Anazat. The end of youth. The years of your youth have come to an end. The time has come to leave the capital behind and return to your family and new business in your hometown of Anazat. The years away from home were full of tumult and hardship. Your adult shoulders now bear the burden of your first life-changing decisions. Did you have the freedom to choose this lot for yourself? Or was it your destiny all along, since your childhood years? All you can do now is follow the path that lies before you. Okay. Arrival, Path of the Priest, Bond of Friendship, Aelis's Rescue, Sacrament of the Priest, Homecoming, etc. The personal qualities at the end of the chapter, you will keep them for the rest of your life. Diplomacy 11, Theology, Manipulation, yep. We're very well-rounded, I will say, but we do not excel at anything. Does your wooden fort still stand? Good question. We didn't defend it, so I'd guess not. Well, maybe the kids defended it. The younger brothers took charge of it. They took wardship over that fort. We are 20 years old. We now enter peacetime. The longest stretch of time in the game. I don't know if that's, like, actual, like it's going to be a long stretch, a long chapter. Basically 2 chapters in length, or if that's just for display. But
A full adult now, I returned from the capital a changed man. Yet, my hometown was not the same as I had left it. Fate had difficult times in store for all of us.
hooray! Alright, chat. That is going to do it for this evening. Another chapter under our belts. I feel like this next one's probably going to be a double chapter. I think it's going to be long, so we probably won't be able to do the whole thing next week, but we'll get through as close to half of it as possible.